How's everybody? This side of the room is like really populated. And did y'all shower this morning?
Well, the hair is blue.
I did, but I'm sweating again.
Well, welcome to General Wholesale. This is a treat for us. I'm Terri Marshall with MilandDil Designs, also Terri's Creation Station. And this is a Saturday, and we're here. How great is that? You don't normally get to come here on a Saturday. And Regina is an added bonus because when we put this together, event together, we didn't know she was going to be on the schedule, but we're excited that she made the trip. Yeah, she calls up and she goes, you know I'm going to be there. Okay. But welcome. Make sure you get a name tag. Also, at the end of the day, the last 30 minutes of our event, we're going to give door prizes. So I won't pass out the tickets for that until then. That way you don't have to keep up with it. Because you need your hands free to eat and to shop.
And where do we get our name tags?
They're passing them around.
Oh, okay.
So Jayce is somewhere. Oh, what do you need? He's passing out name tags, but he's disappeared. So let me give you the schedule for today. That way you'll kind of know what's happening. Alrighty? From 10 to 11 will be Jackie doing a Deco Resh meet. Deco Mesh Wreath. Sometimes my stroke brain will get things kind of reversed. I'm surprised I didn't come up with a word. From 11 to 11:30 will be Miss Regina. From 11:30 to 12 is lunch, and we have had some catered food that's coming in, some Louisiana cuisine. And then at 12 to 12:30 will be Regina, and then from 12:30 to 1:30 will be me doing a grapevine and for Christmas. So these are going to all be Christmas designs. And then from 1:30 to 2, we'll do door prizes and Q&A if you have any questions about business or anything that you want to ask us while we're here. And then from 2 to 4 is just open shopping. So you'll have an extra couple of hours at the end of the event to browse and, do whatever you want to do, okay? So, everybody welcome Jackie. She's going to be doing a Deco Mesh Wreath, and we're excited she came today. All yours, darling.
Thank you.
You want me to make a bow?
Well, of course.
What kind of bow?
Just a little cemetery bow.
Hello.
Yeah.
All right.
I just happened to bring my Probo.
Yeah, it just happens.
Need a marker?
Marker.
Terry's gonna make my bow for me because I don't have that much time. Jayce was so sweet last night. He cut my mesh for me. What I want to show y'all is how easy it is. A lot of people don't think that they can take a mesh form, the raised ones, and make it into a screen door. And I'm going to show you how to do that today with the ruffle technique. And it also makes it so that your ribbon will lay flatter and prettier if you use this technique. Typically, you can actually, if you're balling on a budget and you want to save money, all you have to do is cut your mesh 20 inches. For this one, we cut it 30 just to balance it out. And I'm going to rotate the two colors. Some people think they have to use solid colors, but we're going to use two.
Mr. Big Dog.
Mr. Big Dog.
Not me, because I'm not a mister.
It ain't me. Yeah, I got my, yeah. right way to put your mesh on the wreath, and a lot of people don't understand that when it comes to the ruffle technique. When you put your mesh on the bottom, go with the roll. And when I ruffle mine up, it's about, I don't know, maybe about a ½ inch is what I'm ruffling. And then I always check like this. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I make sure at least my ends are. When I'm doing ruffles, I go ahead and go around the bottom of my frame and open up my ties because people complain about fray a lot. The less that you handle your mesh, the less it will fray. So that's why I just go ahead and open my ties so I'm not handling it so much. When you lay your ruffles down, a lot of people want to go ahead and fluff them out. Don't do that. You want to intentionally lay your ruffle on top of each other because what you're going to end up doing is create a channel for your ribbon to lay in. So don't fluff them out. If you fluff them out, what ends up happening is you kind of create a flower look of your mesh, and that's what your ribbon's going to do, and that's why it won't lay right.
Are those 30 each piece?
Yes, ma'am. Now, if you're, like I said, if you're balling on a budget and you just want to use one roll of mesh, you can. It will fill the wreath out nicely. But be careful when you cut that 20 inches. You can't go over and under because you're going to get just 18 pieces out of one roll. So just be careful when you do that. I do that all the time. So I just only use one roll of mesh.
So out of one roll of that, you could make.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
want it the same.
As old as your bar is, probably 15. That's what I use.
As old as my, she called my board old.
Mine's older.
This is the original Terri board.
I don't know what it says. My board is older than yours.
Can I interject something into this?
Absolutely.
Okay, I do that all day long while I'm bossing. Okay, if you're, don't roll those eyes at me. We have a little fun here, okay, it's really light. Anyway, if your dowels, why are you looking at me?
I'm waiting to see what you're gonna say.
Oh, I'm gonna say it. If you have no respect for your provo, okay, and you let your dog,
I respect it.
you let your dog chew on the dowels,
You got it.
okay, you just let it lay around anywhere, and you let your dog chew on it.
Terry.
The grandkids had him out playing with them, and then the dog chewed on him.
Okay, so, but if you're like me and you don't like wobble in your dowel, I'm gonna show you how to fix this. Scotch tape. Okay, the Provo was made so that they really don't fit that tight. Okay, it's made so that you can make a bow on row B, and then maybe you want to make a tree topper. It's made so you can move them around easily. They don't screw in, they don't fit that tight. However, that makes me insane. I'm a very tight personality, as y'all can just about imagine.
You blame
And
that
I
on the
want 'em-
pigs.
What's that?
You're blaming your insanity on the pigs.
Yes.
Okay. Just checking.
Okay? So that's my excuse. So anyway, ask my husband. So anyway, if that happens, I like my dowels so tight that you can barely get them in there. Okay? You get them that way with Scotch tape. Isn't that genius? I'll take that now. Thank you. So, you hold your dowel up. You take a little piece of Scotch tape. Do not go past the end. Okay, you put your Scotch tape right on the end and just ring it around. That's it. But you gotta do it smooth. See how nice and smooth that is? I did mine 7 years ago, the tape's still on it. And you do this one time, you're done. Get them as tight as you want them to be. Like I said, mine is so tight I can barely get them in the hole. And just ring the tape around, and then woo! Scotch tape. Scotch tape fixes lots of things.
I don't wobble.
It still wobbles because that's the one the dog chewed on. A little bit more tape, because y'all, it is really chewed up. The dog chewed on it. Okay. So anyway, just put as much tape. Some of my dowels, I've put a little piece of tape on one side. That's all it took. That's how tight I got. Some of them I've done this, and I take care of mine a little better than she does. The dogs have not chewed on mine.
Jay, we get it.
How you do it?
No, these are 30 inches.
Hey, we have fun every.
And that's a 14
My friend.
This is a 15-inch standard frame.
We have fun every.
Okay, so now that I'm at the top of my frame, what I do, once again, you don't want to handle your mesh much because you want to cut down on the frays. The other thing you want to do, you want to take your bottom ties and pull them out of the way. So when you're laying your ruffle on the top, it's not snagging on your mesh. And I've opened my ties. When you go to the top, you are going to flip your mesh over and have your roll going this way. The reason you want that is so that your ruffle will lay flat. Yes. The reason that you do it that way on the bottom is because on the bottom you do want it to curve so it doesn't push against this ruffle and fight with your ribbon. So after you lay the first ruffle in, once again, you're not going to fluff your ruffle up. You don't want to do that. Now, if you wanted to do just solely a ruffle wreath, no ribbon, go ahead and fluff it up. Go ahead and do that. But if you're going to put ribbon on, you want your mesh and everything to lay as flat as possible so your ribbon will lay nicely. And what you're going to do when you put your next ruffle on, after that, once again, you're going to intentionally lay your ruffle on top of the other one. And then you'll see here in just a minute how flat it'll end up being so that you can put it on a screen door. Now, because I'm putting a bow on this wreath, which Terry's over here making for me, thank you so much.
A non-wobbly bow.
You know what? I don't have tape on my pegs. I've never put tape on my pegs. I'm already crazy. There's nothing left to drive you there. It don't bother me. I think when you already have a screw loose, you just get used to everything else being that way. I'm just saying.
Hey, those things that I can control. They can take. I can't control much, so if I can beat the dowels, I'm doing it.
Do you want just these 4 ribbons, please? Or repeat one?
I can repeat one if it'll look better. I think it'll look better.
Can you do that? Somebody get that way. Shot of that. Did somebody get a picture of that face?
Ooh, somebody took some sass with their coffee this morning, didn't they?
You know that rumor that said Terry Marshall was buying Probo?
It's true. Oh, you haven't heard
You
that?
haven't heard that one?
Let's start rumors today.
No, it's
What do you want to say?
Terry's pregnant.
I don't know what rumor you can start about me that ain't already going around. Good luck. Huh? I'm sure you could.
I did not fall down the hole all the way outside because of this.
I almost fell down that hole that's out back yesterday. I was like, I even noticed it, like, don't step in the hole. I almost went down in that hole that's out back. I was like, oh.
I don't think I was taken very seriously of my injuries this morning, and I'm offended. Don't tell everybody.
File an incident report.
Huh?
You need to file an incident report.
I told him I'm suing him. Just get ready.
Oh, no, these prices will go up.
He's gonna buy me a new pair of boots. I'm sending him a bill. Look, she's hiding. So I don't need to tell you.
I'm not hiding. If you put a wobble bow next to your bow,
They're the same. I just like it.
Not that hard.
By the way, did you know I finally bought a fluff box?
Yes, I did. I saw it.
I know you were. I was like, Regina's like, uh-huh.
I went to use it, she said, no, it's not for you.
Do y'all want to hear how the fluff box came about?
Wait, 1 second.
hey, you're not on stage.
Do you want to come stand next to me?
It was quiet, and I can't stand it either. It was quietness, so I was filling the hole.
Here's the
Get a
schedule.
little fit between them.
So now that I got my robots on top, check that out. Look how flat that is.
That's pretty. Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that think they have to run out to Walmart to get the flat frame. You don't. This will go behind a screen door. It is only 5 inches thick. It's going to fit behind a screen door.
Quietness.
Quiet, they're taking it in. See, their little brains are just going.
Little brain is right, Terry. I don't have it right.
Now see, that drives me crazy. That is what's glued in on my pro board is my pegs. There is something, see, that drives me crazy. Yes, that drives me
What?
crazy. Those are glued in. On mine, these are glued in. That does drive me crazy, okay?
Well, I'm going to get salmon.
That was
Pass them out now.
I need them for the days out. Never know who's got them. I know somebody's got them in this room. I knew it.
I have a big bottle.
Stand up if you have a controlled substance in your purse.
I'm already standing. I get the tippy toe.
Hey,
This day is brought
my
to you
husband
by.
watches my drawer. By the side of the bed, my husband is control of that. He looks in there, oh God, she's slow.
This is a spool holder that comes with your Probo. It's really cool too. It makes it easy to cut ribbon super fast. It's 14 inches from this peg to this peg. That's how long I'm going to cut my ribbon. And I'm going to cut 9 of each color.
Tell me when I can talk.
You talk. Go ahead.
We need to go get a bell.
Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all this story real quick. I was at market. This is how the fluff box came about. I was at market and I was demoing, because I mean, if you don't open the boat, pretty was the point, okay?
I'm sorry, I was talking to the
Are you telling me to wait? Now I'm getting flack from the audience. What is this? This has never happened before. Where's Scott?
I'm sorry.
By the way, I want
behind you with my stuff.
I want to know when the fluff box came out, because you've been giving me grief for a while, and I don't think it was that when I got my board.
It was not.
Thank you! And people wonder why I fluff on a wreath. There was no fluff box.
Okay.
Now,
This is real short, and then I'll shut up. I'll sit down and shut up. As long as that's gonna be.
That's big number one. You never shut up, so.
Huh?
I said you said you would shut up. You don't.
I'm a tryhard.
Nah.
Because
Anybody got some duct tape and a gag? That's the only way it's gonna happen.
she's waving this in my face, and I don't think my name's even on it.
It is twice.
Twice. Twice.
Okay, I'll say this and I'm shut up. Okay. So anyway, let me try real hard. So anyway, I was at market and I had already done a show and it was a package, you know, because you want to fluff and go out and make it, you know, a pretty presentation. Well, it was a cardboard box. After I used it about 3 times, of course the box was flat. Okay, and I was like, okay, I have to come up with something. What am I going to do? Well, then, of course, I got the idea. Well, I'll do a wooden box. I'll wrap it in paper. So all y'all have asked me, why is your box wrapped with paper, with wrapping paper, so you make a pretty presentation?
And it won't be wobbly.
Well, if you don't wrap it nicely, it does wobble. You have to make sure that the tape is really smooth on the bottom. So anyway, so now I'm in Dallas and I'm doing a demonstration and I'm using my wooden box. And so the lady is, she's bought, you know, Precious Store, she's bought all this stuff, and she goes, well, how do I get this? She goes, I know I can tell that's a wooden box in there. I was like, oh, ma'am. I said, you know, you can just make one, you know, go home and make yourself one. And she goes, no, that's not gonna happen. She says, I don't have anybody. I had a lady actually start crying because her husband had just died. I mean, that actually happened. I was demoing. I said, you just go make you one. And she said, my husband just died. She started crying. All this stuff. But anyway, it happened the same day. But anyway, the first lady was like, you don't give me the fluff box, cancel my order. I was like, really, little lady? She gave me more of a look than Terri does. And so I was like, really? She goes, if I don't get that, just forget it. I don't want the order. I said, you will get the fluff box. Can't give it to you today, but you will get the fluff box. And so I had to go home and find somebody to start making fluff boxes, and that's how it started. Because the lady told me if I don't get a fluff box with my order, don't bother. And she gave me a worse look than Terri does. And with that, I shall shut up.
So basically what we learned here so far today is that
Regina talks a lot.
and that Regina's not wrapped too tightly, but to make everything secure, she's gonna wrap everything else tightly around her pegs and her fluff box.
With tape.
With tape. With tape.
Are you laughing?
We don't want to know.
If you make Reese, you ain't wrapped tight. I'm just letting you know, you might as well just accept it. You can't be wrapped tight to be creative. You can't be. It's not possible. Not possible. You gotta think about it. The best ideas come from the most unique people because they're thinking so far outside the box. Some of us think outside the tape.
Some of us think about things in our tree.
And then there's some of us, puppy dog, let go of, no, give me my peg back.
That
Oh,
was
then
my
there's the Terri bow.
grandchildren.
All right, where's the garbage can? Wait, I think I got one down here. Anybody that knows me knows that was really bothering me to begin with.
Is that for the trash talk?
Okay.
So they know how many total everything you did, or,
I don't know if they were paying attention to me or Regina the most.
well, you might want to.
Hands.
chose 4 ribbons. Typically I would choose 6 because if I'm going to do a Terri bow, but because that was like really kind of overwhelming with the color because I have goodies here. So I did 4 and I cut 9 of each, 18 ties. And that's what we're gonna do. By the way, I tell people this all the time. Don't ever cut this with your scissors. Don't ever do that because you're gonna ruin your scissors. Your wire cutters will come right through it. We love our scissors. We don't let our kids run around with them and cut paper with our scissors.
Jackie, how many inches did you say your ribbon?
See, they weren't paying attention to me. I'm told them how many because they're sitting there talking over there.
14.
14. Okay.
So the spool holder that comes with the Pro Bow from here to here is 14 inches. That's something she could have told you when she was telling you about a Pro Bow, but she didn't.
All right.
And actually, even on your Pro Bow, if you didn't have the spool holder, there are points in there that's 14 inches, 12 inches. There is no reason to run out and buy all these tools and have them sitting all over the place because the Pro Bow really genuinely does it all.
Thank you.
Go, Jackie. Go, Jackie. Does anybody have any pod planners? You know,
Yes, I do.
Since they're not talking,
I think go ahead, Regina.
the new spool holder is coming out with all the measurements. It's going to have a 12, a 10, 8, blah, blah, blah. And actually, at the end, it's going to have a little crisscross. All the people that like to cut your mesh and kind of sit it in it, it's going to have that on it too.
Oh, okay.
Just so y'all know.
And when that coming out?
Hopefully next week.
Are you shipping them out or we just got to order?
You have to order. They'll be on. I hope I'll have them on the website next week.
Okay. Are you just taking address and money to ship it out automatically?
You gotta
so
give
we
me
can
the
be-
money.
Gotta give you the money. Okay. Then how much are we got? How much you
I don't have the price
$49.99.
That's more than the
$5 tip to
promo.
Jackie.
You get the whole promo
So that makes
for
it
$49.
$54.99.
The other question.
So here's what a lot of people do with their wreaths, and it's kind of like no, in my mind. Okay, I can only tell y'all how I make a wreath, and I can tell you to me it's a no, because you'll end up having to go back and fix your ribbon. Put your sign on first. This is the centerpiece for your wreath. This is what you're supposed to design around. When I first started making wreaths, I did the same thing that a lot of people do. I put everything on there first, and then I'm trying to squeeze my sign in wherever it's going to fit. Don't work that way, because then you end up covering your sign. So I'm going to put my sign on first, and what I'm going to do to gauge where my sign sits, I'm going to take my original Terri bow here. By the way, I do have an original Terri bow. I do. And I'm going to size it up. And what I do when I'm placing my bow is I don't want to cover up the words. I don't care if I cover up anything else on the side, but I'm not going to cover up my words. So I'm going to turn my sign till my bow will fit to where the words are not going to cover up. So in this case, I'm going to take this part of my sign, and that's where I'm going to aim for, and I'm going to set my sign into this tie, because this is where I'm going to set my bow. A lot of people say, and this is just how I do it, I can only tell you how I do it. A lot of people say put your bow right here. Well, when you put your bow right here, there's nothing to stop it, and it sinks all the way down to the frame. If you do a poof wreath, ruffle wreath, it doesn't matter. I put my bow where it sits directly on the tie, so it doesn't sink down. Then if you do a poof wreath, you have a poof here and a poof here to support your bow and keep it fluffed up. Always when you put your signs on, and normally I would use red pipe cleaners, but hey, we have white on hand. Go straight down through your mesh. Don't ever separate your mesh, because then you're going to have to fight to pull it back together. You can talk now, Regina. There's actually air in the conversation, and Regina has nothing to say.
I'm trying to behave.
That's scary.
Don't get scared.
I have a question. Terri, what's baby?
My baby, let's see, what's the date?
It's 6.
Six.
October.
It's 6.
The Daddy's Damon, we're creating a new race of crafting mega babies.
I heard you and David had some fun. Don't tell
9 months later on.
Don't please do.
I can't wait to see what the rumors are gonna be.
You know, I was kind of wondering after Damon went on a cruise. Did y'all see the pictures when Damon went on the cruise, the way he was kind of looking at the women? I was like, oh.
He was just appreciating God's beauty.
I was yeah, he was. The ocean, the bikini, he was appreciating it all. He was taking it all in.
The sky, the bra.
Yeah, the sky, the bra. Scandalous.
Next on Maury Povich.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Be a new version of Wreath Makers Gone Live.
We would have no trouble.
Is anybody in here going to Collinsville? 2 weeks ago. Nobody else? Y'all got that? Some people didn't hear back here. What's the question? Who's going to Collinsville?
What is that?
There's a crafters convention, and then also Jackie and I'll be in Longview on November the 6th, and
November 1st through 4th.
November 1st through 4th. I'm getting my baby due dates and stuff.
And I won't be there.
I better write that down.
Uh-huh.
And I won't be there.
30 inches. 30 inches.
Y'all, 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
So what's going on in Longview? We're having
I told them you did it. Look at you. I got the peanut gallery back here and over here.
tell them what the thing is in Longview.
Okay, in Longview, it is literally a create, make, and take. With me in the morning, this is all actually literally hands-on, and I've made sure that there's going to be enough designers there to help everybody. So in the morning, you get me, and you either buy your ticket for Friday or Saturday. So it's 3 classes in one day. In the morning, you get me, and I'm going to show you how to make a mesh wreath. We're going to go over 2 different techniques in one wreath. You get to bring your own supplies. That way you can ball on a budget, whatever you want to make. I give you the supply list of what you need to bring for the style wreath that we're going to make. But you're going to learn how to do the poof technique and ruffle, lay your ribbons properly, make a bow. In each class, Leah Hackintosh, my mind went blank for a second. Imagine that. She'll be in each class to help you learn how to make a bow. So if you got a pro bow, bring it with you. And then after my class, you have Terri. She's going to teach you how to do a grapevine. Now, your kit for the grapevine is available here through the general wholesale website, and it's $50 for your kit. She's going to teach you how to do a grapevine. And in that class, to help Terri, I will be there. Leah will be there to run up and down and help y'all. And then in the evening, you get Dylan Palmer from Ellis Home and Gardens. He's going to teach you how to do a floral arrangement. Those are available on the website from Ellis Home and Garden.
So where is it gonna be?
So it's
In Longview, Texas.
at the hotel.
If you take one of my business cards, you can go to my website, jackieswreaths.com, and you can look up all the information on it.
It's at a hotel.
It's at a hotel.
Right there.
And also, if y'all are not from around the area, you're going to go. I got a huge discount for the motel rooms. It's $69 a night.
Are you doing the same thing both days?
Yeah, you only need one day. Correct. Because one day you're going to spend shopping here because you're going to get a special discount for being a part to shop here.
Yeah, go to her website and read all the details and see what's going on. But the wreath kits are available here. You can go ahead and purchase it, and then when you check in at the event, you'll get your kit. So you don't even have to worry about where they're at.
Yep.
it's a Christmas design.
I like that chocolate ribbon.
I love it. I love it. A lot of people still kind of don't like the black colors in their Christmas. Black makes everything pop. It doesn't matter what the holiday is, it just makes it pop.
What was the date of Longview?
First through the
4th.
November.
Yeah. If you bought, say you wanted to take just the Saturday class, you can come in like Friday, and if you cannot make it to the meet and greet, which is Thursday, your kit will still be there waiting for you. A lot of people have asked me, well, if I don't make it to the meet and greet, where's my kit going to be? It will be there waiting for you the morning of your class.
I can't come. I have Branson.
Well, that way that people didn't have to pay shipping for their kit and everything, so we're going to bring them to y'all. Now, I believe Terry's going to bring the ones here, but I told her on my way into town, if she needed me to help, I'll stop by.
Terri, is it Christmas ribbon?
Yeah, on hers, now you don't get to pick, but on the website it shows you 4 different examples. So not everybody's going to take home the same identical wreath. And that's the same thing with Dylan. You can either do a square or a round one. And that's why with my class, because I figure most people that make wreaths have most of the supplies around. So that's why I was like, within your budget, we'll do this.
So I had to get 100. We were taking 100 registrants.
Yes, then that's it.
I had to come here and pick out 100 kits because y'all are so stingy and buy everything up. There was no way for me to get 100 of everything. So I've got 25 of 4 different things. But it's all Christmas and it's adorable.
Wreath kits are amazing. Both the one that you and Dylan picked out.
Yeah, they're cute.
So today I can pay for my kit here? The other one I have to go online.
Yeah. For the classes, and I mean, you're getting 4 designers. You're not just getting one, and it's all day. It's $115, and it's literal hands-on. I have made sure that there's going to be plenty of people there to help, and nobody gets neglected and gets the help they need. You can't help it. I mean, you can't help it that somebody may ask questions, and we're on a time constraint to get that many classes in. So I wanted to make sure with that time constraint that everybody was going to get help. And of course, I don't know how many of y'all know Dylan? Y'all in person, he's off the chain.
Amen.
Yeah, y'all think on the videos that he's
Oh, it's hysterical. He is hysterical.
And adorable.
Y'all are just
and adorable.
He's very talented.
He is very talented. And I think it's just going to be awesome for me to be in a place with all of my friends. We're hoping Regina can make it.
really.
I told you I was on the phone.
She slept since then.
No, I talked to her about it on the phone.
She was probably taking a peg.
Yeah, she was taking her pegs. They said you were probably taping your pegs.
I probably got out a new one. They're wobbling. Nothing else in the world.
Wait, where'd my pegs go? Oh, there they are. I wanted to make sure Regina wasn't taping them. Hide the pegs for Regina. I don't need mine taped. I promise when I get to the top, I'm going to show y'all how I do my ribbon.
It's already looking real good there, Miss Jack.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I think I sweated for an hour trying to pick this stuff up yesterday. By the way, this stuff is phenomenal. Have y'all ever purchased ribbon that wasn't so good and you love it?
Yeah.
Y'all wanted Jackie's recent things tip to make it work?
Throw it in the trash.
This coming from the woman that does this, don't throw nothing away.
Don't.
I just witnessed this in a house, Terri Marshall, and you were to blame for this one, okay? Because she took, don't throw it away, literally.
What was it? I forgot.
It
Don't throw
was
away
mesh, it was, I was like, really? Really, at some point in time, you gotta cut ties. But, okay, so when you have a ribbon that's not so great, if it's a 2.5 ribbon, okay, and this is why I like to layer mine, and I found this out a long time ago. Welcome to the school of hard knocks, because actually some really pretty ribbon isn't so great. So if it's a 2.5 ribbon, and it's not so great, and it's just a little bit flimsy, pair it up with a fabulous 1.5. That will help it
Flower
lay
line
flat.
2, flower
If
line 2.
you still struggle a little bit, add a little flex tube in. That will help it lay down. Just add a little bit of flex tube around your wreath, and that will help it lay down. Because sometimes I have had those ribbons, I just had to use them. So pretty. Okay, so I don't fold my ribbon, which you can, and some people have to crinkle it up because they can't do what I do with my finger. I just take my finger and make my little pinch. The other advantage to that is, look, I can go around with my ties open. That's just what I'm able to do. And then when I lay my ribbon in, it's kind of like when you make your bow. Make sure you got a good pinch. If you question whether or not you get a good pinch, check that out. See how your ribbon lays right from the get. It lays out straight. You got a good pinch. And then when you lay it in, if you tie your ties too loose, you're going to let go of that pinch, and then your ribbon's not going to lay well. So you have to kind of tie your ribbon in tight. And then once again, check, see how flat it is. A lot of people don't know, and you're not going to be able to see this well, but if you've made wreaths, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. Right here, there's an indentation in your wreath, in your ribbon, how it dents down when you put your ribbon in. I take my fingers, the first thing I do is I go to my tie, and I round that up. Just like when Terri does a grapevine, you want to make sure that your florals and stuff look alive. You kind of want to do the same thing with your ribbon. So I take mine and I will round it up, and I'll start at the tie and round it up. But you have to get rid of that dent down closest to the tie to get your ribbon to round up and look alive.
Quietness in here.
Yeah, I just now stopped talking.
They're taking it all.
I want the suspense to mount. You see those dowels, those tall dowels that she has on her spoon holder? That is not what they're for. That is not what they're for.
Excuse me, I bought those dowels, made them tall, because that's what I wanted them for. They didn't come with the
You
Probo.
bought those like at Lowe's or something?
Yeah, and I made them that tall so I could put multiple rolls. And my other spool holder that I have, I can hold 12 rolls of ribbon on it. This is my standard one that I
Is that
use.
the dowels that came with that one?
Yep.
That's not what they're for.
I've got extra. I have plenty of them.
So I'm going to show you what they're for.
She's about
I
to be
know
issued a
what
bow
they're
citation.
Look, ease up. I finally got a fluff box. And it wasn't my fault I didn't have one. They weren't available when I bought mine.
The $50 fine for not
That's
abiding
right.
by.
I ain't getting nothing like today.
That's a good one. That's a crappy thought.
How long after
Okay,
the
money orders.
I'll take that.
I'll take that. Cash and money orders.
But it can't come out of your bra.
We discussed that before. I can't put nothing else in my bra.
You know it never gets cool when you go up to the local convenience store and they say we do not accept bra cash.
Well, when Regina calls me and we talk for hours, this is how I talk to her. I'm not even lying.
You didn't know that, did you? That's
like it
straps
is.
now all stretched out. Okay, Jack, I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna tell y'all what happened. I talked to Regina on the phone, how I talked. Cause believe it or not, sometimes I'm so busy talking to Regina on the phone. At least I make sure that she's not directly butted up against my ass. But I put the phone in the back pocket and I'm walking. Then when it's my turn to talk, I pick the phone back out.
When it's her turn to talk, is that kind of dead?
It doesn't happen often. Yeah.
Anything to say about this jacket?
Well, now that you mentioned
Okay. Y'all insinuating that I talk a lot.
No,
Is there an insinuation going on here?
we don't insinuate. Yes, you talk a lot.
I don't think anybody's insinuating.
No, not yet.
So once you add these ribbon tails on there, does it still fit nicely behind the screen door?
Yes.
You just kind of smash it a little?
Yep. And I do because some people will end up with their screen door and they'll literally just go, bam, there goes the brick. I'll do what's called a controlled smash and I will make it look the way it needs to.
Behind the glass?
Yes. And I've also learned with shipping a wreath to do a controlled smash with my bow if I have to sometimes, because sometimes boxes that you just, for shipping purposes, I have a way to flatten a bow so the customer and they get instructions on how to fluff it back up.
Have y'all had any customers ever hang one of your wreath designs upside down?
And I send them a picture. I'm like, they send me this picture. They're so proud of the wreath, and I'm like, I'm not proud of it anymore. Could you fix it? Could you fix it? I actually have one customer. I don't know what she does to my wreath, but every time, and I've started literally, really good lady, really good customer. I've started shipping them in huge, oversized boxes, and I tie them down so they don't move at all. And I keep hoping when she takes a picture of the wreath, it's intact. I don't know how she keeps on flattening my bows.
Oh,
It's painful.
Well, you know, it's kind of like that flat earth.
Huh?
I said it's kind of like the flat earth.
You know, and it's actually funny, one of the girls that I know literally watched her customer do this. They did not like fluffed out bows. So when she delivered the wreath to her, she literally watched this woman go like this to her wreath. I would have like, I'm glad you paid for it, please don't do that in front of me again. Okay, because I worked on hard on making that all fluffy and poopy and you just, like a 2-year-old kid beating on a drum. No. That would have been painful. Ooh. I'm like, okay, I just charged you double for my pain and suffering. It's just like, you know. I don't do well under pressure. You're killing me with this time constraint. I'm just kidding.
you've still got 15 minutes.
Well, don't hurry on my account.
13.
I like what.
I gotta hurry on Regina's account because Regina's next and she's sitting here going, hurry, Jackie.
Am I next? I guess. What's that? Her arms are tired. I didn't look at the schedule.
When you put your ribbon in there, you go crossway.
Yes.
You go cross.
A long, long time. Would you believe I've actually been making wreaths longer than Terri?
Really, you've been making wreaths longer than Terri? Oh, okay.
But not Regina.
But not Regina. Okay. Now, do you run that through your...
Who said my name?
Are you running the wire through the mesh again?
Yeah, you always run your wire straight down through your mesh. And normally I cut, when I make my bows, I cut the guide wire off so you only have one wire.
Oh, she said that?
But not longer than.
But not longer than.
Nobody's been
Who
making
said that?
nobody's been making florals and stuff longer than Regina. It's not possible.
What did you say?
I'm gonna turn it back on.
She's been making wreaths longer than me, and nobody's been making wreaths longer than you.
It's not
That's
possible.
the truth.
It's not possible.
I own it, I'm old. Y'all got that? I'm old.
For the OG.
She seasons so well.
She's a fairy godmother.
Old gangster. Old gangster.
Old gangster.
Old, yeah.
I'm the fairy godmother.
You would tell us anything, we're not gonna repeat what you say.
Yeah, but the camera's right there.
She said the camera will.
I'm on camera. They can go back and watch the replay.
And Terri can edit just the portions she wants.
Look what Jackie said. There's my scandal right there. Look what Jackie said. And it's
Put graphics in
recorded.
there.
There you go.
Dun, 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 dun.
No. No.
You go hold it up anyway. Be nice to Kim.
Always.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, we do.
So I'm gonna do this really quick because I don't have much time left because they're sitting over here like I don't know. What I like to do.
Excuse me, I didn't know I was
I'm going over.
Take your spotlight.
Do it.
What I like to do is I kind of like see how your bow sets up. I kind of like everything to come up to the same horizon as my bow. But what I'm gonna do is we're gonna have some Santa Claus. I probably picked the wrong color for this, but at least it's gonna match my shirt. And if y'all saw me, I have my own wire cutters. I did not borrow these. These won't go flying. You're safe.
Somebody's alarm went off.
I know that ain't Regina because she's standing right over here next to me, but it might be. So if I had more time, I would actually rip these apart even more, and I might, just because that just drives me crazy. So I'm actually going to rip these apart a little bit more. Because I want to add some of the fun wispies throughout the wreath. And so I'm kind of, you know what? I don't understand. Some people are scared to death to rip these things apart. Rip them apart. I ball on a budget. When I pick these up, I'm like, how many wreaths can I get out of these things? Okay. So to add Santa Claus, especially with a pick this long, that one doesn't have wispies, so we're going to use these first and go on the other side. So to add Santa Claus, okay, I'm going to go underneath my sign with Santa Claus. Under the tie, underneath my sign. And what I'm going to do is around my wispies, I'm going to pull them out. Because I don't want to flatten them, so I'm going to pull them out. And then I'm going to take my tie. I'm just going to have to cut this short because that ain't going to work. That's too long. We're going to have to cut the wispies off. That ain't going to work. That's just too long. Bye-bye, Santa. Bye-bye, wispies. Okay. So we're going to take Santa, and I'm going to push him down there, and I'm going to tie him straight in with the tie. And then I'm going to fold his stem up and create a hook. No glue needed. He is hooked in there, and he's not coming out of that wreath. Okay, so what I did, let me get this other Santa Claus clipped here. I got to get the wispies out of the way. So what I do is I will take the tie and I will tie it into the wreath. Then I will take the remainder of the stem and I will fold it up like that. Can y'all see that? Like a hook, so it won't go out.
Okay, Jackie, you want to know, what do you do with the ties when you're all finished?
It depends. If it brings something to the wreath, I leave them. If it's like so far out there, I'm cutting them off.
Okay. Just depends on,
It
the effect.
depends on, yeah, how the wreath went and stuff like that.
Because I put mine around something round and just roll them down to the,
You can make them designs with them. You can roll them down. You can, I mean, there's all kinds of, things that you can do. Sometimes I take mine, and I'll show y'all here in a minute. Sometimes when I make a bow, I kind of use it and roll it down and make a little button on my bow. But I'll show y'all that in just a second.
that's what I do to keep from cutting it off too short.
No, I got 10 extra minutes because somebody kept talking.
You can take my time.
We love you, Regina. Okay, good. As long as you know that.
There's a donut with my name on it.
Okay, so now that I got Santa in here, I'm gonna pick a color, because right now you kind of can't see him, he's a little bit standing out, so I'm gonna pick a color real quick. And that's gonna be black, so he'll stand out more. And I'm gonna cut these 20 inches real quick.
20 inches.
This is a Jackie bow. Hush, Regina. She's bubbling up.
There's so many out there now. And that's a wonderful thing. I mean, this is makeup that you get
I think it's because people are teaching you have to have now a way to recognize the different, things. That's why so many things are getting named now. It's not just a bow, so they know it's the reference point to.
I named one after myself.
About time.
Hey, how about that?
I like that one, Regina.
You like it? Yes. I said, I'm gonna name it after myself. I'm a show.
Especially when you don't have enough ribbon to make two twists for Terri bow. But you want that ribbon.
Now you can throw nothing away. I'm working on another one I used to use.
So what I did with that is see how I just spun it down and wrapped it and made a little button.
We couldn't see that fast.
Huh?
Some people can't see that fast.
I'm working on limited time and it's not my fault.
I talk too much on the house.
They only gave me an hour to be amazing. Some of us it takes longer. I'm not Terri. Terri's amazing in an hour.
30 minutes. Wow. Like,
Don't get used to lessons.
So the other thing that I'm noticing is I'm going around trying to finish this up. I need more lime to this. So I would go back and actually add more lime green. Just because it's kind of starting to look pretty dark to me. Come here, Santa. Wrong one.
Well, you've got so much white in there, you can actually put white.
Yeah. But while Regina's talking, I'll kind of finish up my wreath so y'all can see exactly what direction that I'm going to go. And I'll be quiet while Regina's talking.
It's my turn.
I think so.
So y'all have to place it where she's at.
Because I don't think Regina can hold it in any longer.
You have 3 minutes.
That's not going to be long. But this is where we're at.
Woo!
Hold it up.
Beautiful.
The what? I put them right here with the Santa, but I still want to add these to really make it look more fun because you don't let the pig go to waste. So while Regina's over there, I'm going to go ahead and just finish mine up.
I'm gonna go find a summer.
Regina's not going to step up.
It won't make any difference. I'm gonna have to hold I hold the bow down. If we had overhead, I played up there last night, and so I hold it, as I kind of do something, I hold it, turn it, different kind of ways so y'all can see. Anyone that wants to come and stand around me, if you have a question, you want to see something really, really close up, please feel free to come and stand around me. please feel free to. Whenever I do the shows before with Scott, all these other shows that we do, people get up and come stand around me. Please feel free to. I can turn.
Make sure you leave like a path for the camera, just leave a little opening so that.
Maybe for those of us that are sitting where we can still see.
No, I'm gonna block it out.
I'm on camera.
Oh, yeah.
I'm ready. It's time for me to start.
Yep.
Hi, y'all.
Hi.
I'm Regina Sellers, in case y'all didn't happen to know. I like to talk, y'all. Please stop me at any time. Y'all have questions. Please stop me at any time. Hold your hand up. And I'll ask you, do y'all understand that? Please feel free to come stand. I've had people standing here. That's fine. Love it. Just feel free to do that. The first thing that I'm going to do is show you what these dowels were actually meant for. I watch Facebook Lives all.
So what I do is I will take the tie and I will tie it into the wreath. Then I will take the remainder of the stem and I will fold it up like that. Can y'all see that? Like a hook, so it won't go out.
Okay, Jackie, you wanna know, what do you do with the ties when you're all finished?
It depends. If it brings something to the wreath, I leave them. If it's like so far out there, I'm cutting them off.
Just depends on,
It depends on, yeah, how the wreath went and stuff like that.
because I put mine around something round and just roll them down to the,
You can make them designs with them. You can roll them down. You can, I mean, there's all kinds of, things that you can do. Sometimes I take mine, and I'll show y'all here in a minute. Sometimes when I make a bow, I kind of use it and roll it down and make a little button on my bow. But I'll show y'all that in just a second.
that's what I do to keep from cutting it off too short.
No, I got 10 extra minutes because somebody kept talking.
You can take my time.
We love you, Regina. Okay, good. As long as you know that.
There's a donut with my name on it.
Okay, so now that I got Santa in here, I'm gonna pick a color, because right now you kind of can't see him, he's a little bit standing out, so I'm gonna pick a color real quick. And that's gonna be black, so he'll stand out more. And I'm gonna cut these 20 inches real quick.
20 inches. And what kind of color do you make?
This is a Jackie bow. Hush, Regina. She's bubbling up.
There's so many out there now. And that's a wonderful thing. I mean, this is makeup that you get real.
I think it's because people are teaching you have to have now a way to recognize the different, things. That's why so many things are getting named now. It's not just a bow, so they know it's the reference point to.
I named one after myself.
About time.
Hey, how about that?
I like that one, Regina.
You like it? Yes. I said, I'm gonna name it after myself. I'm a show.
Especially when you don't have enough ribbon to make two twists for Terri bow. But you want that ribbon.
Guys can throw nothing away. I'm working on another one I used to use.
So what I did with that is see how I just spun it down and wrapped it and made a little button.
We couldn't see that fast.
Huh?
Some people can't see that fast.
I'm working on limited time and it's not my fault.
I talk too much on that house.
They only gave me an hour to be amazing. Some of us it takes longer. I'm not Terri. Terri's amazing in an hour.
30 minutes. Wow. It's like,
Don't get used to lessons.
So the other thing that I'm noticing is I'm going around trying to finish this up. I need more line to this. So I would go back and actually add more lime green. Just because it's kind of starting to look pretty dark to me. Come here, Santa. Wrong one.
Well, you've got so much white in there, you can actually put white.
Yeah. But while Regina's talking, I'll kind of finish up my wreath so y'all can see exactly what direction that I'm going to go, and I'll be quiet while Regina's talking.
It's my turn.
I think so.
Are y'all gonna switch places or?
Because I don't think Regina can hold it in any longer.
You have 3 minutes.
It's going to take me long. But this is where we're at.
Beautiful.
The what? I put them right here with the Santa, but I still want to add these to really make it look more fun because you know you don't let the pink go to waste. So while Regina's over there, I'm gonna go ahead and just finish mine up.
Regina's not gonna step up.
It won't make any difference. I'm gonna have to hold my, I'll hold the bow maker. If we had overhead, you know, I played up there last night, and so I hold it, you know, as I kind of do something, I hold it, turn it, you know, different kind of ways so y'all can see. Anyone that wants to come and stand around me, if you have a question, you want to see something really, really close up, please feel free to come and stand around me. Please feel free to. Whenever I do the shows before with Scott, all these other shows that we do, people get up and come stand around me. Please feel free to. And I can turn.
Make sure you leave like a path for the camera, just leave a little opening so that.
Maybe for those of us that are sitting where we can still see.
No, I'm gonna block it out.
I'm on camera.
Oh, yeah.
I'm ready. It's time for me to start.
Yep.
Hi, y'all.
Hi.
I'm Regina Sellers, in case y'all didn't happen to know. I like to talk, y'all. Please stop me at any time. Y'all have questions. Please stop me at any time. Hold your hand up. And I'll ask you, do y'all understand that? Please feel free to come stand. I've had people standing here. That's fine. Love it. Just feel free to do that. The first thing that I'm going to do is show you what these dowels were actually meant for. I watch Facebook Lives all the time, and everybody's using them for the spool holder. I will give y'all my pickup truck and my firstborn. If anybody can prove to me that you've ever read the letter that comes with the promo.
I need your pickup truck and your firstborn because I didn't have a choice.
You did?
Yes.
You don't want my firstborn. You want my truck, but now you have to take a boat.
My truck's newer. I think I want you know keep the way it is.
I don't think anybody's ever read that letter or watched those videos. Because there is a video on this. And I don't think anyone's ever seen it. You watched it? Well, good. Well, fantastic. Yeah.
See?
Y'all see, you've seen it? Okay. This is the second method of bow making. There's 2 different ways you can make bows on a pro bow. This is called the second method of bow making, okay? But what you have to have is ribbon that looks the same on both sides because there's no twisting. We all know in bow making you have to twist. Whether you make it in your hand or any bow maker, you have to twist the ribbon, okay? This method, there's no twisting. I call this a 30-second bow, okay? The reason why they're this tall is because I make this with 2-inch ribbon all the time, okay? So, if y'all want to come see, come stand it. Y'all can come and stand behind me. Please feel free to. Okay, there's a video on this. Please watch the video. You're going to take your ribbon and you're going to hold it in your hand down here. It does not matter where you stick these dowels. Anywhere on the board makes no difference at all, okay? Just know that this is the outside. This is how big a loops you're making, and this is wherever you set these dowels, this is dead center of the bow.
Don't forget your tape.
Okay? They're taped. See them? They're taped. You can see the tape. Okay. So you're going to hold your ribbon here, and I'm going to make a 6-loop bow. Okay, if you want to do something really quick, you're running late, everybody's always running late. So if you just want to do something super quick, so you're going to hold your ribbon, it's great for packages too. Okay, you do figure eights, that's a 2-loop bow. This is a 4-loop bow. This is a 6-loop bow. Okay, my ribbon's kind of coming off wonky. Okay, so that's a 6-loop bow. Let's do 8. Just because. Now that's an 8-loop bow. You're gonna cut it, go underneath. You're gonna take the cut in, you're gonna go underneath and come over the top. See your bow? See your bow forming? And then you're just gonna go through the loop and pull, and that's all there is to this. And that's what these dowels were put in the box for. Okay? And if you want to use, thank you. So, y'all, that's all there is to it. This is not like a shoelace. The harder you pull, like if you put this on a child's package or something, they're fooling with it, pulling it, the bow will not come undone. Okay? So you can tie it onto your package now, and you just fluff it out, and I call this the 30-second bow. I mean, you can see how incredibly fast. I made this. If you're running late for something, I'm always running late. If you want to say it's Christmas time and you're bringing a bottle of wine or something as a hostess gift, you can tie this around the top of the bottle of wine, fluff it out, and out the door you go, and you have an instant, pretty little bow. And that's what these dowels are meant for, so that you can make something just that incredibly fast. And you can foo-foo it however you want, y'all. That's my word. I own it. Foo-foo. Is that easy? Thank y'all. Thank you so much. But leave some little long tails. You can curl them down, make them pretty. But y'all, how incredibly fast is that and easy? Nothing, absolutely nothing to it. Okay? So that's the little bow. That's what these were intended for. I am not the pro bow police. I'm not the bow police. I'm not any of that. Use them however you want. It doesn't matter.
You got nabbed.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do. But I just wanted to show you that's what they are originally intended for. Okay? That's it.
I want you to know that when I got my pro bow, I went to your website and I made every bow that you made, even the little itty bitty baby one. Every bow. The only bow I have not made, the only one I have not made is your scrap bow.
The Regina bow?
Scrap bow.
Well, fantastic. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's good to hear somebody's watching these videos we're making. Okay. Let's see. I want to show y'all. I want to show y'all something else. How small. If people ask me back, and she saw me again, that we really got to. Oh my God. That we really got to talking just a whole lot. And then Terri really started playing with her pro bow just a whole lot. And so, I've lost it down. What did I do with it? Do y'all see one somewhere? What did I do? What did I do with it? I had it there. But anyway, Terri was playing in her shop one day, and she sent me a picture. She sent me a picture of this Terri bow. She goes, look, I'm using up scraps, and she sent me a picture of it. And I was like, lady, do you have a clue what you've done? She lives 5 hours from me. I said, I'm coming to your house tomorrow. This is going to be huge. And she's like, okay. And she was just like so nonchalant. And I was like, you don't realize what you've done. So anyway, I got up in the next morning. She had her scraps ready. She had her pro bow ready. And so I went to her house and we played around with it. And at the time I was doing, I don't think you were doing videos yet. No. And it was like, okay, I'm going home and make a video. You don't realize what you've done. And this is, I'm telling you, this is going to be huge. And guess what? I'm just going to name this after you. I said, you've done this. This is going to be huge, fabulous, best thing that's since sliced bread. And so I went home, and I made the video. named it after her, because I thought Terri bow. I mean, what was better? And so that's how that came about. But yeah, so she made it. She was playing with scraps, and she made it. She goes, "What do you think of this? You think this is something? You think anybody be interested in this?" I'm like, "Girlfriend, you have done something fabulous here." So anyway, I'm gonna make a Terri bow for y'all. It's put us both on the map. We were really doing well. We were doing well already, but when the Terri bow hit the market, it just went crazy. So anyway, set your ribbon up. Now I always start with 2 1-inch. Terri does not. Y'all go look at her. She makes fabulous. I mean, her combinations are just off the charts, and she does things with all 1-inch and 4-inch and all that stuff. But I'm gonna show you the basic Terri bow. Like I said, if anybody wants to see this, come please stand up. I'm gonna hold the board up and tell y'all a few things as we go. Okay, so you're gonna start, and I always, like I said, I watch tons of stuff. Some people, what's the word I want? Fishtail, that ain't the word I want. Some people, dovetail, whatever, they do that after. I think that's much slower. Just FYI, I just think that's much slower to go in. If you're making your Terri bow, dovetail first. Dovetail as you go. What are you looking? What are you grinning back there like that for?
I was dumbfounded you were at a loss for words. I was savoring it.
You were savoring it. Use your board as your measurement. Okay? Whenever I start, either go to C, you can cut your tails a little long because you can always trim them after. Okay? So my first one, I usually trim it just a little. But so I use your board as your measurement. See? Okay? So I'm going to dovetail. I'm going to measure to there. I'm going to pinch. I'm going to come around with my wire that I should have undone. Pinch. I always use pre-cut wire. A lot of people don't. I use pre-cut wire because it is so straight. The other stuff has wigglies in it. Whenever you roll it off, the thing is wiggly. So I use pre-cut because it's straight. Okay, that's my insanity. So look, I put the half, put it there. 1, 2, do it tightly. Everything that you do neatly as you go makes a difference as your bow opens at the end. Okay, so put it here. You never go all the way down to the bottom. If you do that, your bow's going to come out wonky. It's just not going to work. So just put it here at the center of your base dowel. This is your base dowel. Okay, that's the reason why I have an extra one. Okay. Whenever you always go to the right, you go clockwise, and you always pull the wire. Y'all, please watch my instructional videos. Every hand movement, everything I do, there's a reason for it. There's nothing that I show just because. There's an absolute reason for everything. Okay? You go on clockwise, you pull your ribbon up to the top, and then you wrap it on itself. Your wire does not stick to wood. Okay? So you just have to wrap it on itself. It helps hold it better. Okay? That's the reason. And then you want this at the top. If you're using 2-inch ribbon, whenever you're finished, if you didn't wrap it up here, if you wrapped it down in here, then you couldn't get your wire off at the end. It would be covered up. Okay? Now I hold that with my thumb because I want this to stay in the middle. And you go around the nail just once. I watch people constantly, they're ring. That's too much hand, you don't have to do that. That's just extra movement, not needed. I've done car bows with 50 yards in it on the Ultimate. I wrap around the nail once. That's all that's needed. Okay? Stick it under the board, get it out of the way, leave a little loop. I know y'all can't see this, but if I hold this up, let's do it this way. Can y'all see that little bitty loop there? That little loop of wire? If y'all can see that. Can y'all see it? You leave that little loop so you can just grab that with your finger quickly at the end. Okay? Everything has a reason behind it. Okay. So now we've attached the ribbon to the board. Okay? In the video, if y'all want to you want to use the absolute, as few hand movements as possible. This is an economy of hand movements, okay? Yeah, I will show you very quick. You hold your fingers like this. Train yourself to do this. Now, this is an exaggeration of the movement, okay? But if you hold your fingers like this, because you want these are your three guiding, ribbons, and then you'll see, I work off the tip of my, that's all you're doing. You're gonna end up working off the tip of your forefingers. That's really all that's needed. Whenever you're putting the ribbon, and I watch people do this all the time, they're sitting here with both hands. Your hand never has to cross the top of these dowels, ever. If you're doing that, that's way too much hand movement. And I have all these people saying, oh, I'm intimidated, I'm scared of it, oh, it's all of this. It's because everybody's way overthinking and way overdoing, okay? So, use these, just kind of train yourself to do that. But all I'm really doing is I'm using, and you see how you just like, it's just a, and you, can y'all see that? You see how I'm using the tip of my forefinger? And you just drop it over. No, that's all there is to this. It's just really that simple. That's all there is. Okay, I'm just gonna come here to the, and y'all, then I show you in the video, I show you this. So there's kind of like two or three hand movements. You're gonna do this, and you're gonna do this. Because I put my finger here, and I put the bottom edge of the ribbon to my finger, and then I pinch to my finger, and then, I wish y'all could see this, y'all could see this better, you can see it clearly in the video, because my finger's here, the bottom edge of my ribbon comes to here, I pinch to that finger, and then it's bottoms up. You have to bring the bottom edge of your ribbon up, because this is the top of the bow, this is the bottom of the bow. And so my finger was there, and now my finger comes over, and you drop it over. And so you see how I've used, all I'm doing is I drop it over this way, and I drop it over this way. And I'm only using these two tips of these two fingers. And that's all there is to it. That's it. That's the hand movements that you need to know. So for all the people who say, I'm intimidated, this is hard, I don't know what to do, it's just because everybody's way overthinking it, okay? That's all there is to know. If you can do that, if you can do, if you can do this, and if you can do this, you can do anything. You can make a 50-yard bow. You can do it, because that's the hand movements. That's all there is to it, okay? So, I'm a pinch and twist. And you see how my finger comes over. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm making a Terri bow. I forget what I'm doing and get to talking. Okay, now, the helping hand. This is the next thing I hear. I have no idea what to do with the helping hand. Here's my pin. Well, it's not straight anymore because I played with it. So anyway, it's got a wiggle in it. I may not use it. I don't know. Take a deep breath. Y'all, to add the helping hand wire, you're just dropping on the board. You're just dropping on the board between the two fingers. You're dropping on the board, you take your two ends and you pull to you. It doesn't matter which side of the dowel you come around. Does not matter. Okay? And you're just taking this piece of wire, because it is gonna, you're gonna see as I go, it's gonna hold every piece of my wire. Now, why do I need a helping hand wire at all? I wouldn't need this if I was going to continue, if I was just making a regular bow, because there's my tension. I need a helping hand wire making a Terri bow, because I'm going to cut this off. And there's no tension to keep holding it around the dowels. Does that make sense?
Now it does.
That makes sense now? Okay? That's why you need a helping hand. Now, let me tell y'all this. If you're making a regular bow, and say say you want to just sit here and just whip it out, just whip out a bow using one ribbon, and you keep going over the same dowel. If you pull too hard, which most people do, because I've given classes, most people pull entirely too hard. You're used to, you think you have to because you're used to and have made bows in your hand, and you're holding on for dear life. You're holding on for dear life to that bow. And so most people are used to doing that. So most people now think they have to pull that hard.
that doesn't matter. If you pull too hard, what's gonna happen is the stack, as you're building out, you know when you're making a bow in your hand and you're doing your loop and you twist and you're doing a loop and you twist, you're forming that stack in your hand. That is what is so incredibly hard about making bows by hand, because you can't keep the stack straight in your hand. And if the bottom edge comes out, if this stack comes out over here, and then you put a wire through it, that's why you end up with all these long loops over here and all these short loops over there. Because that's the hardest part in bow making, is keeping the stack straight. Okay? Now, so if you're using one ribbon and you're just continuing and you're making a bow, which I'll make one in a little while. If you're pulling too tight, your stack is going to want to pull up. You can use a helping hand wire. You can use a helping hand wire and help control your stack, which is the most important thing in all of this is keeping this stack. You want to keep your stack coming straight out. That's the key in making a great bow. When you open it and all the loops need to be where they need to be, is controlling the stack, okay? And you can add a helping hand wire as you go, because you'll have a tendency, it might want to ride up or whatever, especially the bigger the bow you make. Put in a helping hand wire, twist it off, that bow's never going nowhere. Does that make sense? Everybody understands? Okay. So, what I've done, everything that I've done so far on this, that's all there is to making a Terri bow. It just doesn't get any harder than that. Okay, so we're gonna cut that off, and I've attached my first ribbon to the board. I've secured it. That's the first wire that I used, was holding the whole bow to the bow maker. And then now I've used my little helping hand, put in my helping hand wire. That's it, y'all. That's all there is to know. And you can make all of this. Okay? Questions? Anyone? None? Does it seem easy? Does that now seem easy? Have I answered some questions you might have had? Okay, let me just continue, and I'm going to show you just how fast you can get on with making these bows. Get that out of the way. So now I'm going to do the same thing 5 more times. I'm just going to continue to add the ribbon, and I'm just going to go to the next dowel. And every time I'm going to measure, I'm using my board as my measurement, and I'm just going to make my tail just a little, and you know what? I didn't bring in my fluff box. I'll have to use hers.
It's right there.
The white one? Oh, okay, that's fine. That's a pull it on that. It's heavy. That's my very first. You can put it right there. This is the original fluff box. That's the first one ever made. It's full of sand.
Kind of wrinkly, looking.
Huh?
The paper's kind of wrinkly.
Yeah, it's kind of dying on me. If you make your own fluff box, do not put sand in it. This is the very first one that was ever made. I put sand in it. I put it in visqueen. I took visqueen and I put a pile of sand and I've taped it, tape, both ways. Put it in here and glued the box. This is all glued. The sand is still coming out. The sand is, if y'all can, I don't know if y'all can see, but you can see how the paper's messed up. That's because the sand's coming out the box. So if you make a fluff box and you want it heavy, do not use sand. Does not work. It makes it real heavy, it makes it really nice, but in the end, it's going to give you some problems.
And how much your fluff box on?
$15. $15.
50?
15.
15?
Yeah, Terri was lying to you. Terri was lying.
So they're 15.
Yeah, it's much better to deal with me.
Okay. So it's already set up with the nail and the hook or
You get a nail and a hook, and it's marked where to put it. Where to put it, okay? It's 15. 1, 5, not 50.
And they 15, 1, 5. So I need one.
Yes, ma'am, you do.
May I have it so I make us too many people? I mean, I ain't over one. What's that?
May I have one now because,
Oh, I got a truckload. We got plenty, but you are number one, darling.
Thank you.
You're the first lady. There it is. It's yours.
Thank you.
All right.
Did you bring any ultimates with you?
I brought one and Stoney got it because he called and asked me. Look at him.
And he's happy about it.
He called and asked me to bring him one, so Stoney got the ultimate.
I'll sit online.
You wrap the using the helping hand on the first piece.
Yes.
What's that?
You use the helping hand on the first piece that you put in, right?
I
On that boat you're
added.
making now, you wired it.
Yes, I am.
Touch the tape.
Every time I go, okay. Let me show you this. Okay, I cut a tail. I cut the tail, and I put it there. And I've gotten to where I just use the wire.
Okay.
You don't have to.
I don't, and I think that might help. I forget
Yeah,
to do
I
that
don't.
first.
I mean,
I'll wait
I've
till I
gotten
get
to,
it.
I didn't used to, but I've gotten to where I do it.
Okay.
Because you know what, it just holds the whole bow together. It's kind of like insurance, you know. And now that, you know, I show so many people, I just go ahead and just put, I mean, why not? It's there, just so put it.
It's there, might as well.
You might as well do it, okay? So, I use my, now sometime I'll just cross it up and down. Sometime I don't ring it around because it'll hold it in its place, okay? Let me tell you another thing. Whenever you're using your helping hand wire, push. I've started doing this, okay? Because if you do this loosely, you'll end up with a really long, you know, the stack will be way out here and your bow's kind of loose. So whenever you're using your helping hand wire, push it. Tighten up. You can tighten up this bow as you're making it. If you push against your base dowel, and how's my time? Am I going way over?
Yeah, it's time to stop. And you got time after.
Oh,
We're
okay.
about to have lunch.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to kind of wrap it up to be continued.
Okay. I talk too much, y'all. And I'm used to being here with Scott, and Scott never stops. Just saying. So anyway, but y'all, that is all there is to it. I've showed you everything that there is to know about a Terri bow. Who can make a Terri bow now? Terri, you can do it now? You can do it? Okay. So, y'all, that's all. It's really that simple. Okay? They tell me to shut up. I will.
Okay, lunch is from 11:30 to 12. So if you need a bathroom break, we'll direct you on where the bathrooms are. And help yourself to all the refreshments there in the kitchen. And we'll see you back here at 12. Regina's going to pick up at 12 o'clock, and then I'll be on staff with another presentation.
Yay, everybody.
It's right now. You gotta do is turn this way. Take the picture.
Okay, Regina, you're up.
I'm getting,
See? There you
He's
go.
organizing. He's working it.
that's gonna go now.
Hey, that's how we took pictures with Michelle.
Okay,
Obama.
I only have a few minutes. They only gave me a few minutes left. So I'm hurrying. So as I was telling y'all, what I did before the very first time, that's all you do to this. You just what you saw me do, which was really easy, wasn't it?
Yes.
Really easy.
Yes.
You just do it 5 more times. And that's all there is. That's all there is to the Terri bow. So I'm just going to continue making it. Anybody have any questions, please ask me.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes I don't understand how many loops do you make with each color?
How many loops? 2, 1 right and left on the same finger. And you see how I'm using that helping hand wire? Loop, pinch, twist. You see how you can hold it? I just have a habit of doing that now. There's your pinch and the twist. Use your helping hand wire. tighten it up once around. Use your bow as use the board as your measurement. Y'all, I'm gonna try to tell y'all a couple other things as I'm going. Is this next? Yes. As I'm going, y'all, your non-skid pads, do not scrape them with your scissors. Do not wash them. None of that is necessary. But you need to clean your non-skid pads a lot. The least little bit of glitter that gets on them, they don't work. Because the glitter is shiny and slick and your board will be just moving all over the place. Tape solves everything. Take a piece of tape and just tap. That's all you have to do. Tap them. And then you won't, if you scrape it with the scissors, it'll embed the glitter. Okay? So you just tap them with tape. Glitter's gone. They work again. So remember to clean your non-skid pads.
I just want to see how tight you pull your wires. I think I'm pulling mine way too tight.
You see how it's moving? That's because I have glitter all over it. What what gauge wire are you using?
The 26. But I just think I'm trying to pull it too tight, so it kind of, sometimes it pulls my bow to the side. And so you're not doing it nearly as.
I'm doing up and down. I'm doing up and down, and that's going to help me keep in line. Okay? Everybody, and whenever I give any classes, any hands-on, everything that I've seen people do is overdoing. Everybody just overdoes it. It's just like, no, it's simpler than that. No, you know, it's just easier and simpler than that. The most important thing is keeping your stack straight. I did a video the other day and I said, ladies, don't blow your stack. Don't blow the stack. You saw it? Don't blow the stack. That is the key in making a beautiful bow, and that is the reason why making bows by hand are incredibly hard, because I'm going to show you whenever I pick this up, is keeping the stack straight. So, did that look fast? Fast? Now, now, do this before you take your wire from the top and the bottom. Sit here and wiggle, tighten this up. See how I'm pinching it in? Because you want it, right? Huh? I'm compressing it, but look, I'm holding my base, I'm holding the base finger, and I'm pushing it in. And so I've already tightened my bow up. And it moved a lot. Could you see that? Mm-hmm. That moved a lot. Okay? So you compress it. Okay? See how I've just pushed all of this in. But what you don't want to happen, you still, what I usually do is I stick this finger underneath. Okay? Because I'm keeping my stack straight. I don't let any part go down or up. You've got to keep the stacked up straight. So now, I've compressed it. My finger is under there. My finger is touching that base dowel. Okay, now I'm going to put my finger here. I always take my wire off from the top. And y'all, don't pull it straight up. It'll knot the wire. You have to jiggle it just a little. See, I almost knotted it there. Jiggle it just a little. To put it into your, I always take it from the top. People want to know, they say that they can't get their bows tight enough. So I always take it from the top. This is the reason why I've moved this around too much. I lost my little circle. There you go. Okay, now I'm holding it from the top, off the tip of your finger. That's the reason why you only want to go around it once. It's all about speed. Once you get the few movements down, you want to see how fast you can do these. Y'all just pop that off, and then you see, I'm pulling up and down. And I'm pulling, you can see, I'm pulling now. I'm pulling hard and then go around. And now that's as tight as you can possibly get that.
So you don't get those cuts on your fingers?
Huh?
My fingers are all like cut. I think I'm just pulling too much.
might be pulling too hard, you can wrap it around your finger just once, instead of, then it won't slide, because I find sometimes it slides in my hand. I'll wrap it around my finger, and then pull, okay? Now, do any of y'all watch Susan Wiseman? You watch Susan? Susan and I, we're really good friends, and we cut up all the time, because she puts a zip tie. And I think a lot of people are starting to put zip ties around your bow. You can go on Amazon and you can buy packs of them. They're very skinny. You want as small a zip tie as you can put, and they're colored. They're not just black and white. So, and I didn't know you could buy them like that. So if you want to, if you feel better about it, you can put zip ties, okay? But this is what I want y'all to notice. You see the stack? This is the stack of your bow. See it? Can everybody see that? That is what is crucial in making a perfect bow. That stack has to stay just like that. That's what's so hard about making bows in your own hand. Like if this right here, if I had tightened this and I had put my wire around it, if this had moved and say moved up to this side, okay, if this had moved off to here and the stack wasn't straight anymore, then this is just going to be all off this side, and that would be all off that side. There's no way to fix it. And that's why you get just a bow that's just all lumpy jointed. Okay? So, keeping the stack straight is what's crucial in making a bow. Alright, fluff box. Why do I use a fluff box? Because I can use both hands at the same time. And you're going to see, because I'm going to be pulling. I pull, okay? Because this is wired ribbon, you want the ribbon to go where you want it, okay? You control the bow. The bow don't control you. And if you put it onto the fluff box, and this is heavy because I don't want it sliding all over the place. And I've seen people put an eye hook in their pro bow. I particularly would never do that because you're going to see I spin my box around. And I don't like leaning over my bow either. Okay, we were just talking to Jackie about that. I don't like leaning over it because I can't see it as well as if it was right here. That's why I like the fluff box. You can use two hands. The whole time that I used to own the Christmas place and we used to have to make 100 bows a day, we called it air fluffing because you're just pulling them apart in the air, and you can make a perfect bow in your hand, have it wired beautifully, and because you're pulling and you're not pulling the same, you just lumpy jaw the heck out of a bow and just ruin it. Okay? So, watch the video. You can make a fluff box if you would like, or you can buy one from me. Y'all, these are $15. It'll cost you that much to go buy everything. I have a guy that makes them for me. His father's a contractor, so he uses all the wood from the jobs. That's why we can sell them so cheap. But anyway, there's your eye hook. It faces away from the nail. You put the eye hook, you put it in there, go around here, and I'm probably just about running out of time, am I?
You can fluff that bow quick.
Okay, when you're fluffing it.
12 minutes.
Okay, when you're fluffing it, okay, this was going to stay here. Tail, tail, loop, loop. Y'all, when you're making a Terri bow, if you open it very methodical, all your loops are going to, you won't have to foo-foo very much at all at the end. You just make a cross. Tail, tail, loop, loop. Okay, and you make them across from each other. So and I always start from the bottom. And so I'm going to put a tail here and a loop. Y'all, what you want to do is I'm going to turn it around this way because you want to put your hands in here and you want to open this all the way to the center. A Terri bow is not a flat bow. It's very dimensional. And you want your loops, you want your loops and your tails to come up like this. You don't just pull everything out, okay? It's very dimensional. It goes up and everything goes out like this. Okay, it's not flat. If you just pull everything out flat, it's just not going to look like a whole lot, much. Okay. What makes it really pretty is that it comes up and over. Okay. So whenever I open this, you see how I'm doing that? I'm going all the way to the center, and I'm pushing up against there, and I'm starting my loop to make a circle all the way to the center, and it'll just fluff and be a prettier bow if you do it that way. And you see my tails? See how I start working them up? You want everything, when you're fluffing a terry bow, you want everything to come up and over. Okay, you just don't pull everything out. And that's kind of the secret of making it. You want it to come up, and then you can make it kind of sassy. You can kind of just flip it on the end if you like. But you see the dimension? It's a very dimensional bow. Okay? So, that's that. What's the next one here? I want to move my tail. No, I want to. Okay, y'all see how I did that? See what I'm doing? See how I'm pushing my finger in there? I'm opening that loop all the way. I'm starting that loop to be a circle all the way to the center. See how I can pull? I don't know if y'all probably can't see it, but from this side, y'all, I held this right here and I pulled. So I'm holding this right here and I'm pulling because I'm shaping this bow. I'm making these loops, everything go where I want it to. If I did not have this anchored down, I couldn't do this. Okay? So that's the reason for a fluff box, so that you can form it, make it do what you want. Okay, where's my other tail? Where's that? Okay, this is here. Okay, another reason, you see what I do? You see how I twirl my fluff box around? Because I'm working on the part I'm putting everything where I want it. If this was anchored to my here, I couldn't spin it around. And I like to spin it around and work on all sides, and each one as I go. Okay, I'll put that tail there. Can y'all notice how I'm putting, you see how I'm going all the way to the center and I'm pulling up everything? I hope y'all can notice I'm pulling everything up. As you fluff, you go up with everything. And then that's what's going to give you the dimension. And you see this center? I'm just leaving this. I'm going to just leave this. Everything, all of this is just going. See, I'm just pulling up. I'm barely pulling out at all. Everything is going up. So it's all in how you end up fluffing this. Let's see, put this over here. See, can y'all notice how I just pulled that? I didn't like the side it was on, so I just held this and I pulled it. I'm pulling. So that is what having a fluff box is going to do for you. You can make your ribbon go where you want it to be. Couldn't do that if I was just doing this in my hands. I'm going to trim this down just a little bit. See, I always cut my tails just a little long because I can decide to go back at the end. If I want to trim them down just a hair, I can. It's going to depend kind of like where I want to use it, and I'm going to trim this down just a hair too. See how I'm pulling this up? Everything's going up. And that's it. See that?
Oh, let me do a picture.
I can't hold this long.
You can do it. Got it.
So y'all.
Okay, it's after lunch. Everybody stand up. Stand up. Stand up.
Let her feel.
Oh, Regina.
Stand up.
Just want to first board.
Okay. If you have bought ribbon in the last 24 hours, sit down.
Here or where?
Anywhere.
If we bought ribbon in the last
24 hours. If you've bought ribbon in the last 48 hours, sit down. If you've bought ribbon in the last week, sit down. If you've bought ribbon in the last 6 months, sit down.
If you ain't bought ribbon the last week, we can't be friends. I'm just saying.
If you bought ribbon within the last year, sit down. After after today's class, there will be a support group for the rest of the and you need to go back there and find out why you're not buying the ribbon more often. Because you're stocked up. That's a good reason. Thank you. Everybody can sit now.
I was gonna write on the back.
Okay, so today I'm going to do a grapevine Christmas wreath. It is a 24-inch oval. And when I came yesterday and started picking out the elements, I started with my focal point, which is going to be this. It's very lightweight, and it's kind of got that elongated shape of the wreath, so that's going to work beautifully. All right, to build it, what I've done is I've cut off a sheet. They have these sheets here that are very inexpensive, and I just cut a piece off like the width of that, and then I cut it in half. So I've got 2 blocks of styrofoam. Alright, to camouflage it, I'm going to use this natural accents moss. You can use, you know, the green moss or any kind of other moss that you might want to use. Or you can use ribbon or deco mesh or whatever you prefer to cover your moss, cover your block with. I'm just going to use this reindeer moss. Okay, or natural. Now, I'm not going to glue it. I'm going to use these, I call them greening pins. These are labeled floral pins. You can, you know, find them at Walmart. They're readily available anywhere. Michael's or Hobby Lobby. And they're cheap. Like they don't cost very much. So they just look like a U. Okay, just a greening pin. So I'm going to take the greening pins and just anchor the moss to it. And I got this fan up here because I really wanted to look like Beyonce.
Well, you gotta do her moves then.
Oh, I worked myself. She's always got a wind machine. Y'all noticed that?
Yeah. And right.
She's beautiful though. Okay, so I'm just going to cover this block up. And I'm just putting the greening pins on there to anchor it down. No need to glue it. You know, just stick them on there. And this is just to camouflage that ugly green. Are y'all wondering why I'm using styrofoam? No? Can't fool anybody, huh, anymore?
Why are you using styrofoam? Terri, why are you using styrofoam?
Well, the suspense will build.
But it ain't gonna kill you.
Not many people use grapevines for Christmas designs. They mainly use the PVC or evergreens or the deco mesh. But sometimes I think it's nice to have just a little different base than just always using the same base. We are going to have a surprise design for you today that wasn't really on the schedule, but we are going to squeeze it in. Okay. Look how gross that looks.
Looks like sea foam.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Okay, I'm not going to worry about the back. I'm just going to do the sides and the top. And in reality, you're probably not going to see a whole lot of this, but Those of you that follow me know that my construction techniques tend to be a little bit overkill sometimes.
And you change from one to the next. Just whatever works.
Yeah, whatever works. I took a personality test. I was nervous to do it, but I took one, and it said that I was an innovator and risk taker. I thought, well, I could have saved myself $60 for that one. Okay, so I'm doing this, trying to do it quickly so y'all don't get bored. Alright, so there we have it. Kind of. Now, I'm going to anchor this to the bottom of the wreath right here. Okay? And to do that, I'm going to use, I know it's hard for you to see in this position, but I'm just going to use some wire. Now, if you don't put moss on it and you're just putting wire on top of the bare foam, you need to put some tape under it, this floral tape, so that the wire does not dig down into the floral foam once you start tightening it. And it can kind of cut through it, act it like a knife. So I'm just going to use a couple of pieces.
What'd you say about the floral thing?
If you're just using regular foam and no moss on it for some project, put this tape around it first, and then lay your wire on top of the tape, and it keeps it from cutting through the moss or the foam. Okay, so I'm going to anchor this onto the bottom with just some wire. You could use zip ties if you've got some long zip ties. And I'm going to try to do this and lay it down. I think I'm going to put it better. Whatever works for you to use to anchor it on there. Trying to find the wire. Where's the wire? Let's put the glasses on. That always helps.
I can see it from here. Can you?
See it? There's one.
Oh, that's all I see.
There's the other one. Yay! Okay, so I'm just going to tie that around. I find that if you've got a real good foundation to your designs, start with a good constructed piece. Don't just, you know, if it's for my door, I slap it on there and not worry about it. Because if it falls out, I'll just put it back. But if you're selling products, you want a really good foundation for what you're doing.
The leaves to the grapevine in there, you put them out, and you bang them against.
You mean the way it is? Like, probably I'm going to cut some of that, like, stray things off. But I personally like leaving everything in it.
The glue probably would do it.
It does. It gives something for it to grab on.
You can't get it all out anyway.
You can't. I had a lady tell me one time, she says, well, I'm getting ready to take all my grapevines out on the driveway and get all the leaves out of them. That just doesn't sound like fun to me. And it's a lot of work, right?
What falls off and leaves.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to fall off on its own naturally. Okay, so we've got our foundation. Make sure you tuck, if you're using a wire, tuck those in so they don't scratch your customer's door. However, I have one customer who has beautiful wooden doors. It's a new house. And I put felt all the way around the back of her wreath and just glued it on because that way it doesn't scratch at all. And so when you do little extra special things like that, your customers will notice. Lego. Lego. Okay, so we've got that. And now we're going to use sand. We just got these in, and they are wonderful. And I'm going to get Regina to make me a bow. Which one on? Here's my ribbons. My only request is this dot be in the very front and the 4-inch be in the back.
Do you want a Terri bow?
Yes.
You want tails? You want a Terri bow?
Please. Okay, so he's adorable. And he's very glittery and snowy. Now I'm going to take this tile, because that's not how I'm going to anchor him. Okay, let's use some wire. Y'all say wire or wire? Do you say poinsettia or poinsettia?
Poinsettia.
You see, her and I had an argument about
Poinsettia.
Who says poinsettia? Me and you are the only ones. 3, 4. Okay.
Hang on,
Who
how
says
fast?
poinsettia?
Everybody. Okay, this fabric is real easy to pierce, so I'm just going to take one of these wires and put through it so I can anchor him in there. And it's much kinder than the ice pick that Jackie used on her. Much more humane.
What row you want it on? C or D?
D. Finding the wire is always fun.
This is Jackie.
Yep.
That's why you use your needle nose pliers, push it through the bag, grab the wire.
Yeah, I do
pull
that
it through.
sometimes. Today I'm making it difficult.
I'm all about making my life easier.
Huh? Oh, somebody was talking to me. Oh, I see it. Hold it!
It's the little things in life.
I know. I see it. I see it.
I'm just
It's underneath.
Huh?
You looking for your pliers? They're
Yeah,
underneath.
there they are. Okay. So there's this one. His hat has a wire in it. And so I'm going to make him a little more three-dimensional. Whenever you have an element like this, think about it popping out of the design instead of being flat. So look how much better that looks. You've got it that way, or you've got it a little more poofy. You see? And that just gives him a little bit more personality. Okay, I'm going to anchor the bottom of his beard to the foam with a greening pen. Okay, so you don't even have to use glue. Regina, can you grab that drink there? I'm afraid I'm going to knock it over. There's a drink right there. So I'm just gonna run a greening pin right through his beard, because it's foamy. And that'll hold it. Look, magic. Simple and easy.
Did you do your jumping jacks?
I did not. I made Jayce do jumping jacks before we designed together. Okay, so now the fun begins, because we've got our foundation, we've got our focal piece. Now we're gonna start adding some elements.
Are you gonna war on a poinsettia?
A poinsettia.
I don't think I could say that even if I
What?
War. All right, I just pulled, and don't panic, I'm not using all of this. Y'all going, where's she gonna put all that? I don't think she can use all that stuff.
That's right. And I said it's gonna be a very expensive break.
Yeah, the more you put on it, the more expensive it is. That's for sure.
The more you can
But
sell
you know,
it.
some of my customers require something on this level, so you gotta accommodate. So I've got this cute bell with some greenery. And I'm thinking my bow's gonna go kinda right there. I tend to always put it at 11 o'clock. Does anybody else? That's kinda my spot.
Yeah.
I try to switch it up and it just doesn't feel right, so, I have to remind myself.
I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, he's bothering you. Hey, can you bring me the stem cutter?
Sure.
Because I was like, what I said was, what did I say? Oh, I always put it at 11 o'clock. My bow. Thank you. Now, this is a pretty substantial pick as far as the, you sit right there, baby. As far as the stem itself, so I didn't pick it. I just put glue right on it. And I'm going to come up here and stick it behind his head. And remember what we talked about, three-dimensional? Pull those elements so they stick out some. You don't have everything just flat. And if they won't cooperate, like this one, get your pliers and bend it. When we're at market and we're picking out these elements, we are always bending, crimping, moving, trying to see for you and for myself, when you get it to this stage, that it's going to do what you want it to do and not just be flat. So it's got to have some body to it. All right, I'm going to take another one. Oops. If y'all, who has a stem cutter? Anybody? I love mine. Love it.
Me too.
It makes life so much easier.
Yes, it is. I said, honey, this is what I want for Mother's Day. I'm gonna order it.
Yeah, it's great. So I'm just gonna follow around.
Gotta pick my thing too.
You're all set then.
Oh, heck yeah. I tell you, I'm all about making my life easier. Got to have the right tool. Yeah.
Now what I love about this, it's got noise. So when your door opens, you get a little bit of that jingle bell, which kind of sets the tone for the holidays, and I just love that you get that noise. Of course, nobody comes through my front door unless they're the Mormons or somebody. Well, actually, I don't let them in, but I hope nobody here is offended. I'm not saying anything about them. I love them all. I think their bicycles are cute. I'll probably get a letter.
Are you recording?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know I'm recording. I'll have to edit this part out. Cut.
Back up, cut.
When you see me up here, this is me. This is me, and I apologize in advance.
Yes, you can order it from me.
Thank God it's with you and not some fake.
Yeah, I can't can't do that part of it. Be fakey. Okay, isn't he cute? I mean, I just love him so far. Yeah, I'm gonna show you here. So I've just followed the line of the wreath in the same direction, and I've used 3 picks here. Right? 3. Okay. But I hope you can see how you build this in layers, and it's not that big of a deal. Y'all, it's not. We're not launching a spaceship or anything. Now, because my bow's going to be over here, I'm probably just going to put one of these on that side. There's no need in having an element under your bow. Never throw these away. Never. Oh, I just threw it away.
Never throw them away. Not keep them all.
What do you do? They are. I do. I have a huge bin of them. It's like I'll have enough for an eternity. Actually, my bow's going there, so I'm gonna come down right here. So fluff it out, bend your elements. Okay, so I've just got one there. This sucker's already getting heavy. So we just got one there. Bow. And now we're going to start building this foam. My idea is just to start filling it out on either side and making it wide.
Terry, you might want to pull it toward you a little bit if you don't
It's
want
about to go off. This is not an ideal place to be creating, but I'm going to make it work. Okay, so let's see what we got. I have these swirlies. Because he's got swirlies in his beard, if you want to look at your elements and see is there any pattern that's sort of repeated, but do it in a different way. So this is a way to combine those 2 elements, but it's different. So that gives you continuity of your design. Does that make sense to y'all? And your people don't know that. You went to that extra effort, but it's pleasing to them just when they see it, but they don't know why. So when you can put those kind of things in play, I suggest you do it. Now, I'm going to pick this one. It could go in the grapevine without picking, but it's going in foam. So I'm going to pick it because it will go in there a lot easier. Okay, so I've got my pick machine, which is not in the best place. Now, I'm going to look to see how far out I want this to go. I don't really want it out that far. So I'm going to go about in the middle of that foam. So I'm going to go right about here. And what did we talk about? Shape your elements. Instead of having them flat, curve them. Okay, so you're going to do a little bit of a curve. So that's what we did. Okay? We're going to do the same thing on the other side with the same kit. You could use any focal point here. You wouldn't have to use the Santa, but I'm really in love with him. So I'm going to do the same thing over there as I did on the other side. I did not get a whole lot of sleep last night because I kept thinking about this. Y'all ever do that?
Yes, ancient all the time.
It's a tormenting thing, isn't it? Okay, so the goal here is just to continually to fill up this down here. Oh, I love these. Remember, you can break up any of these picks.
Terri, is that all that on their website?
That I don't know. But I had some other stuff picked out to make, and there were only like 3 pieces of it. So we regrouped and did something else, so there would be plenty of stock. So I'm just going to come up here and start filling in some of these elements. This one's going up at the top. Whatever I do on the right side, I'm going to do on the left, right?
Right.
So we've got those little snowballs. Let's do a few more.
Are you gonna put anything on the styrofoam other than?
You mean on the bottom?
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait to see how much it fills up, and if it's needed, then I'll always add that. You know, at the end of when your design is complete, you think it's complete, look it over and see if there are any spots that might need camouflage to hide your mechanics, and you can always do that after the fact. So I'm gonna come down here. On these little snowballs, I did one at the top corners, and I'm doing them on the bottom corners. Who in here does not like doing grapevines? It just makes you nauseous.
Kim says you don't.
No, it's not a thing.
To me, grapevines are easier than the wire.
I personally think grapevines are easier, but this is what I cut my teeth on for grapevine wreaths. And
Who in here has never made a Decor mesh?
I made.
you,
I have never made it.
Really?
I'm going to. So whenever I owned the store, it had been a thing, right?
it wasn't a thing.
And so I only ever started doing this and forgot this.
You know, as a floral designer, you really need to do a lot of different things and not just be in one lane on the highway, because people will respect you more. They'll want to use you for a lot of other things. Not to say you can focus on just one thing and that's it, but I encourage you to, I mean, I've had to branch out and do Decor mesh. This will be fine. You just won't have the head going, I mean the hat going up.
We could do it with a round grapevine then.
You could do it with a round, it'd be better, yeah. Thank you, sorry. But it, okay, so I've just put some of these snowy branches in there. So you can see every little thing that you start to add just gives it a little more personality. Let's use these swirlies. Again, a swirl, but in a different format. I'm saving the bow for last. I know it will be so pretty. That made it just change completely. I sure hope Comcast got my internet fixed today. No. I can go back live again and not have a heart attack from it. Making me mad. Okay, so. Just adding so every little thing that you add just
it's coming on out.
makes it so much better. Isn't he fun? Okay, let's put in this poinsettia.
That's a beautiful poinsettia.
Isn't this wonderful? And each one of these leaves are wired down the center, so you could even fold them. You can make them do what you want them to do. Again, at market, we make sure those elements are going to really do what you want. Isn't he cute? See, I was going to use that yesterday. I picked that out. But it was, I didn't have enough of them. But that was what I had originally picked out.
I have a question.
Yep.
What do you think putting that snowman face in that ring?
Me?
In that what?
Me.
You. This lady right here. What do
You
think about
could.
having a face in it?
You could.
In what?
With that, you could.
Did anybody see the rabbits that I made last year with that out of the fabric? The fabric? Well, this lady has made a, I'm gonna do a snowman, I'm just so behind. I just did a cat. I'm gonna do a snowman, but she has a picture. What do y'all think? But it kind of bothers me that it doesn't have a face.
Ah!
We got it?
Okay.
Yeah,
I see.
Y'all right? Could you write on the head?
I know, there's not really room up here to have all this.
You could sit it right on the front of it.
How do y'all think that would look? I think I might like that.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
What's that?
If you find out where he is, let us know.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm gonna use another one of these.
If y'all saw the cat,
Yeah.
y'all saw the cat, so she made the snowman. What do y'all think to put in the face, that face, because this is fabric, so it would be different. Y'all like the two materials together? I think I'm gonna do that as well. Yeah, I put red in or just here. Uh-oh. What do y'all think? What do you think, Terri? Give me your opinion. Remember the fabric, the cat, bunny, the Easter bunny? Same thing. What do you think of putting that face in it?
Instead of the top ring?
No,
on the top of it.
Putting the face in it.
Yeah, you could.
You think you would like that? There they are. There went all of those.
Why does it keep doing that? Oh, because I only have it set for 30 seconds.
Oh.
Okay.
Let me plug this back to touch the picture and then fabric.
Fuzzy food. It's called curly food. Well, I was thinking of putting a face, and that face might just be the thing. Oh, round face, yeah. I'm going this one. Yeah, you better put it on.
So that snowman sale like that.
Where are those faces?
It sells just like that.
It sells like this. It's a welcome. And this goes from Christmas into January.
Yep, yeah, you turn it.
Dang it, my pick is
I know.
defective.
You just take off the little hollow berries.
Well, too, y'all got the door open on one end.
It's fabric around Hobby Lobby. Just like when you use
Okay, that needs to be shaped. Just let me show you where it's at.
That's nice. Is it a lot? When y'all get more, very beautiful.
You know, the other thing that you could use to cover that foam, like Walmart has that sparkly tinsel garland.
Yeah.
You could totally use that.
You know what I use? You know those little snow blankets?
Snow blankets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Put those up.
yeah, those are perfect too. So when they go 80-90% off at Hobby Lobby, grab a bunch of those. Or feathers, boas.
Oh, that'd be cute.
I love using boas for snow. So perfect. Now you can just keep adding and adding and adding. Now I've got tons of other stuff up here. Let's see about using this garland.
Oh, no, that's
Okay, I think I'm going to use this.
oh, they're right there.
Okay, I'm going to use a little piece of wire.
Yeah, she around the head.
Yeah, just to anchor it on there. I'm going to run this garland, this piece of garland through the back of that greenery. Just because it's going to tie in the black that's in my bow. Actually, you know what works for me too? If you've got a pick like this, it's got wire on it, use that to anchor things.
remember, everything's wired, so I'm just gonna run that through there.
That's such a good idea.
And then, you know, it's so easy to do it. Just pull out one of them and wrap it around. Most greenery is gonna have a little piece of something that you can utilize. Okay. Now, it's going underneath. We are almost through. So I'm just using a graining pin to anchor the rest of this garland underneath.
Terri, you're not going to use that last poinsettia, are you?
No.
Save
Want
it.
it?
It'll make my cake. Well, we're pointing off
You could even add some ribbon loops in this foam if you wanted to tie in your bow. So just think of all the things that you could push in there that would really complement your design. Okay, I've got a secret weapon that I use for grapevines, and this is wire from Hobby Lobby. It's grapevine, and it's covered in like a grapevine color, and then it has wire in the middle. So the nice thing about this is it's camouflaged when you use it on your grapevines.
I use it to form the hook on the back too.
Right.
Wow.
Great. Andrea had a great point. You can use it for putting a little hanger for your customer. And it's usually not on sale, so if you're in there and you're buying something else, use your 40 off. And
Definitely.
that way you can get a little better price. Okay, so I'm going to take just a piece. I'm going to run it around the same wire that was used to make this bow. Okay, so if you kind of open it up, follow the same path that your bow was made on as far as the wire, and you can see it. Just kind of open it up, fiddle with it. Now we're going to put this bow. It's about to really come alive when this bow goes.
Grump, you in the area?
Nope.
Ah, it's grabbing me. Let's get rid of this wire.
Oh, you got to send the orange stick.
Okay, I'm going to take my needle nose, take that grapevine wire and push it to the back of the wreath. And do a little bit of wiggling. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Okay, on
the other side. Grab it with my needle nose. Push it through. The problem is too though, this is so camouflaged, sometimes you can't even see it without your glasses on. So I don't know where I put them, but
I think they're under your ribs. Fall.
where did I put it? Ah, yes it is. I have to wiggle it and try to see it. Y'all, last week, I'm not even lying, I went to storage. Y'all know how I hate outdoors. And I hate critters. Went to my storage unit, as soon as I opened to the main building, a snake comes right at me. You would have thought somebody had just chopped off both of my arms. I was screaming. The guy that worked there was like, what is going on? Of course, it was little, but it was still wiggling.
Baby, they had plenty. Plenty steaks, baby.
Only one good kind of snake.
Yes, baby. And more than one. They've seen several up in there.
And here's this.
Got the little water and all that stuff back there behind it. And holes.
It's a ditch behind my house. In the city, I always tell me stop
You know, grapevines work really well if you're trying to create somewhat of a rustic look for Christmas. And you know, rustic is very popular.
I mean, that's festive right there. That is just nice.
Okay, now, at this point, you could probably add more. Once you give it a good look over, there have been times that I get my design on the door to even photograph it. It comes off of the door and I add something. Because then you kind of see, oh, there's a spot there, or this isn't going to photograph well because this is here and this is here.
Weren't you the one that said take a picture of it and then look at the picture?
Yeah, if you'll take just a quick snapshot of it, even if you just use your cell phone.
That's what I do.
Take a quick snapshot of it and then just look at it and go, okay, this is what the customer's gonna see. It's not, it's all about the customer, you know that. So make sure that everything's in there that you want, that's the time to change it. So you could go a little bit crazier with this.
I know it. I think they don't have way to do it. They already walked the game.
And then here's where you put your eye on any mechanics that might be hovering over any of that stuff. I know the bow needs fluffing and all that kind of stuff, but isn't it pretty? Beautiful.
That is pretty.
Woo!
Great job.
Any
And I feel I can do that.
Yes. Probably 185.
Yeah.
And she gets it all day long.
I could probably charge
Exactly.
$229 and get it.
Exactly.
But
Do you want these? I need one more.
One more? I got
okay,
two.
you've got a tree.
No, I have one right here.
Jayce,
Thank you.
where are you? Oh, Jayce, where are you? Y'all that don't know Jayce, I think he says, how does he say his last name? Champagne? I know Champagne, but I think he has some Cajun way to say it. I don't know.
Where'd he go hide?
Oh! It's already claimed.
Poinsettia.
Remember that poinsettia?
This one?
Terri,
Yeah, that
yes,
goes
ma'am. I'm the claimer of it. Thanks, madam.
Mm-hmm.
You know the first one I made?
Yeah.
Huh? 2014?
He's a new designer. Some of you, how many of y'all follow him on Facebook? Yeah. I've been sort of tutoring him along the way. He's got amazing talent right now. He's in the baby stages. So it's fun to watch. But in my private group this week, I posted a picture of my wreath that I made the first year in business. Y'all, I can't even tell you how awful it was.
Terri,
No.
no comment.
Andrea knows. She saw it.
Nope. It's not a current Terri.
No, it's not. And keep in mind, when I started, I didn't have good materials, and I didn't have anything.
How long ago
We
was
didn't have much.
It was
available,
not much
really.
to choose from. It was in 2012. I started in 11. So it was a grapevine fall wreath. I wish I could describe the bow. It
wasn't a Terri bow.
It wasn't an anybody bow. It was. I don't even know. It looked like a 2-year-old maybe did it. But anyway, I posted it in my private group so that it would encourage all the designers that there's a starting point. And not that I've arrived by any means, because I'm still evolving. My design style is still changing. But I just laughed. And here's the funny part. I decorated that lady's house for Christmas, and when I went to do it, she had the fall wreath hanging up, upside down. It actually looked better upside down. So, I don't know why I got off on that topic, but anyway.
I think the point is your work will change as material.
It evolves.
Because everything evolves because they make, I mean, I owned a Christmas place 20 years ago. I owned a Christmas place in Elma. And the materials that you can get today were not what we could get back then. So your styles and everything will change.
Yeah, it'll evolve.
Like I have, there's a new bow that's just become very popular. It's actually a Terri bow, has just very long tails on it. And so, I mean, I'm doing a video because styles change. You just kind of change with the time.
My biggest thing is I didn't have access to good materials because I was broke.
Right?
And I would go in my house and steal things out of flower arrangements. You know, that I bought from Pier 1.
That's all they have.
Like, oh gosh, I could use this. So Jayce and I are going to give you a little bonus. We're going to do a centerpiece together.
Wow.
He would not get up here by himself, but Mama Terri is going to hold his hand, and we're going to each do a centerpiece.
That's greedy. You have me. That's
Where'd he
greedy,
go?
woman.
Y'all really have to share these?
No.
Y'all have no idea about me.
You remember the black and white?
Bow in your hair.
Daddy said I couldn't do it with a bow in my hair.
Who wants them?
32. It's okay. It's a true designer table.
Terri, you want me to move it over
Yeah,
here
just
so
move it
everybody
over.
can?
And it needs fluffing. You can fluff the bow. Take the whole thing.
Okay, I'll get them somewhere else.
Do your fluffing magic. Now, I know those of you that come to Scott Admire's clinics with us, he's probably done about 20 designs to our 2.
Really?
I mean-
He'll come and he'll do 20 wreaths a day.
Yeah, and,
Really?
I mean, he's just clicking them out. I'm
And
not that
everyone is
person.
different.
I can't do that, but
I put so much
I know.
in
Half the time you're going, scratching your butt, thinking about it.
and then you look at it for so long, you gotta get up and walk away.
There was a design I watched for 2 months. I would work on it a little bit, and then I'd hang it up. It just,
I have
Wasn't
one that I
coming.
made for my niece 2 years ago, and my sister thought it was too much, too fancy. So I put that one to the side and made a round one and put the bride and groom crap on it and all this. I still have that one sitting in my living room, and the boa that I made for it does not look right. So I've got to figure out a bow on it. It's a beautiful oval shape. Turn that back down.
It'll come.
I turned the other back down.
What I just threw some sticks away. That's true. I wonder what that was about.
She was excited. She was just excited.
Why does he keep running off?
I'm most proud of them. I made him
Where am I going? By the glue.
This is a bride dress at 60 years old. She was married 60
All right, this is Jayce, and he is with Decor.
Do you have a shop that you just sell from your home?
out of my house.
Oh, that's beautiful. What's your name on there?
Linda Lee.
On Facebook?
On Facebook, it's Linda Lewis Lee.
Oh, there goes the witch again over there.
With a LED?
Yes.
Put it all together like I'm searching something.
Okay, this is a 48-inch Carolina spruce centerpiece.
I don't have most of them. It's the first one.
Okay, so you can see it's got the same thing on this end as it does this end.
Linda's.
We're going to show you how to make a nice centerpiece for a table,
SEW.
a side buffet.
Yes. And then space SEW.
Another. Okay, you ready, Jayce?
Ready or not?
Okay, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3,
Go, Jay, go!
5,
Go, Jay, go!
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I just wet myself.
She just wet herself.
Of course, I had all this stuff moving around. He didn't have that to worry about. Woo! Oh! So we're going to teach you how to do this centerpiece and sell it for $150 so you can come buy more ribbon.
Now all the stuff that I'm using in mine comes out the back. So y'all know. There's some on this side and some on the other side I use.
After this, we're going to do door prizes.
We don't like free stuff.
I know, you're supposed to use one of those hot thingy majiggies, and I have one at home. Huh? This is a knife out of my kitchen. Of course, I haven't used it in my kitchen.
I better watch her, she might cut me.
Okay, same concept like we did on the wreath. We're going to build a base for you to put your florals in. Ditto? No, we're going to zip tie it. So we're going to zip tie it in the middle.
Are we going to cover it with moss?
No. Because we're going to cover it so much it's not going to show. Oh, this is going to be too small.
variation, but we'll put it on this.
You're smart ass.
You're supposed to be really editing.
You're on the camera.
I
I do this all the time.
Drop the A-bomb.
It's my stroke brain.
She got hers done. I'm still struggling.
So I just did what I told you not to do, was to put tape on this so it wouldn't go through the styrofoam. But pretend you didn't see that.
Or hear it.
Hear it.
That was from my brother-in-law.
You're welcome.
But see how that kind of cut into the foam? It's not the end of the world, but
Okay, so you know how they have this squishy foam that's for the live?
do not use the Oasis.
I learned that the hard way. That's what I was using in my designs at first, but once they're outside, it starts breaking and all your stuff falls out. With the heat too, with your glue, it starts separate and comes out.
Just remember this, Oasis is what?
Water.
Desert is what? Dry. So when you're picking out your foam, you want desert foam. Got it? How'd you do that little trick?
Okay, look. Slide it in. You gotta walk them all through the night.
I am? Who said I was even going?
I told you I'd push you in the wheelchair. And be the first.
Are we taking an offering or?
Maybe so. Nicole, you want to buy it? 150. You heard that, huh?
Okay, so I've just got that in the middle.
Okay.
Zip tied.
Okay.
Yay, yay, yay.
Put it in there to start.
You're behind. Why'd you do it in the middle like that? Huh? Do it one on each end. That way it won't flop. So what he did,
And it won't pop in two.
it won't pop in two. Do what Mama says.
Experience.
I feel like a teenager just arguing with their mama. You know what happens to teenagers that argue with their mama?
Do I only have one of the? Oh no, there's the other one. So mine's gonna have sort of a rustic look, and his is gonna be more elegant. And what I'm gonna do, I've got these picks, I've got two of them, I'm just gonna put one in each end. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so pretty. I can't stand it already. Well, I can stand it, it's pretty.
See, it's still done it.
You might, sort of.
I might have to. I'm working like I'm working.
Calm down, these are just, 400 eyes looking at you.
And some of them watch me on lives already, so I don't know what I'm freaking out for.
And I found another way to keep them from going through your styrofoam is to wrap them with the tape.
Yeah.
I am upset that I didn't get those jumping jacks on video.
Did you get my boobs going up and down?
You don't mind, huh?
I need to wear them like a
Turn it
sports
off.
bra. He said, at least I wear one.
There's some people that don't wear none. You could go.
I'm waiting for my skin color. I gotta cut this one. This one?
In the back.
In the back.
In the back, some of that stuff may not have a lot of it, but it's back there. How long?
So this has a substantial stem on
You
it.
want to
I'm
know
not going to
what
pick
you
it.
use with the leftover stem?
I did a design in here yesterday, and I needed to add height to my flowers. So I took my flower, put the stem, and used floral tape and taped it to where I got the height I needed to match my other stuff in my arrangement. But we're not gonna do that. Did I really do that? You just don't even have me in done.
What's that song? That baby shark, bark, 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 woo, woo.
Baby shark, do 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 do.
Okay, so I'm gonna push this in at least the length of the other greenery. Kind of stop it there. Yes?
Yes. Yes. And you put it in the phone.
I did. Right in the middle. Same thing, all this stuff is wired, so you can poof it up. You are the boss of your florals. Yeah, how did that baby shark thing even get started? That's just annoying. He's got strong arms right now while he's young.
Yeah, right now while he's young.
He's using a hydrangea pick. And they also have this in a garland.
But it's the flower, the hydrangeas are more red in it.
Yeah, I love it.
And that's located in the back too.
You don't?
Crystal auntie, Crystal auntie.
Crystal? Where are you? Okay, so I'm going to cover this sucker up. These are cute picks. They've got little berries on them. Kind of snowberries.
You're coming to mommy.
It's going to drive me Huh? I have to drive.
No. You're driving one of us. Driving us. I don't know what she was doing.
I'm just getting glue.
I'm eating glue. Everywhere.
Sorry. Are y'all inspired to make something now?
Very, very much so.
And if you are interested, you could join Terri's monthly group, which is the Terri Creation Station. She teaches all kinds of stuff like this in her group. And she's one of my mentors. This is who I learned how to do a grapevine wreath the proper way from, and all kinds of other stuff. She'll show you how to stage houses, make door hangers that you don't have to sew with.
This next month we'll have Monday, Thursday dates. I'll be doing a live on some creation, and then you have a featured video every month. So that's 9. And then the bonus, I'm going to be providing this to my group, the bonus. You know where these are in the back?
And are you still decorating houses?
I am. Yeah, we start soon.
I don't know if I'll be available or not. It just depends on your
Yeah, I would love to
schedule.
have you.
With Scarlett.
I've already got people contact me for their dates.
Of course, she is putting her Mother's Day out for socialization. My granddaughter's around her brothers and sisters all the time.
Okay, yeah.
So she needs socialization her own age.
So now all I'm gonna do is start accenting it with other stuff to build around. And here I'm gonna leave this open because I have some focal points I'm gonna put here. And then I'll just fill in and make it a masterpiece.
So I just put those little berry ones on either side. I'm gonna put another one over there. This is gonna be where the bell is in the middle. I need more cowbell. Y'all must not watch Saturday Night Live. I know, isn't it fun? More cowbell.
Well, she got it back there too.
Y'all are so cute. Whatever we use, you're all like sneaking off and running and go getting it.
Go get it! Go get it before she gets it! You know she's gonna go get it before you get it. Well, I had one thing on my list that I was gonna buy today. One
thing?
And, oh no, they've already absconded with all of it. It was the black and white 10-inch mesh
Oh,
to do
yeah.
my penguin with. This is the only place that has it. And somebody absconded with all of
We
it.
used it's an evergreen teardrop.
It's
like
called
what
a
you would use-
centerpiece.
It's I explain it like it's a cascade that you would use for like a funeral arrangement. So that's what it's all on the other side and that's where all the evergreen
Spruce.
So these are good to use on your mailbox too.
You could bend it. Linda said you can bend it over your mailbox. It would be a great way. Put a pretty bow there.
And just drop some loose ornaments
Oh yeah, that'd be really
on
pretty.
ribbon. I do my mailbox.
No.
What?
It's like a little rag. She's looking for this stuff that she's using. It's not there. No, it's on this one. That's brand new. That's brand new material. This is brand new. She just got in this week, and the flower pink came in this week.
So he's got this beautiful hydrangea. And then the same thing holds true. Don't let it just lay flat. Lift those materials up so that they can be seen and show off. I mean, when you get dressed to go to a special occasion, you don't lay on the bed and just you're flat. You stand up.
And you do the hokey pokey.
I'm trying to give y'all things to correlate so when you're in there designing, you can think about what Terri said, get up off the bed and twirl my materials. So, feel connected with your stuff. I'm gonna lift this up and let y'all see.
Oh, that's coming out. Yours is pretty too on the back. Turn yours. Oh, so beautiful.
Okay. See how quick this goes though? I mean, it takes no time.
I was by myself.
This is like a long carrot. Oh yeah, I could easily
The floral piece that was in the kitchen, in the break room, that's what I made yesterday. And it took me forever. I pulled stuff out, I put stuff in. I had Hillary and Sandy running around here finding me stuff because I didn't like how it looked. Yeah, I'm one, if I don't like it, I won't do it.
That's it. The one on the table, you don't like it? Where is it?
The centerpiece in the break room.
In the break room. Okay.
Hillary, can you just give me some pine, like a piece of pine garland?
No, she wants the pine.
I'm gonna cut, I need to cover my mechanics. Just something. Yeah. Okay, that's not gonna work. Okay, here's an example of how I'm gonna use one of these picks that I've cut off. See, it bends. Got it? I'm gonna use it to put my bell on there.
The first piece. Her first piece actually was styrofoam.
So I'm just gonna bend it through. Go back, go back.
She's talking to me.
Talk to myself. Something will start to fall in my shop and I'll go, no, you're not gonna do that. It does it anyway. All right, I'm gonna put a pick on it.
Now that's incredible. That's incredible.
So you're wondering, how do
That's
I
the
put
first
a
time I've seen
metal,
that.
a metal
And that's
piece?
why I asked her, because I'm one, I like to do centerpieces and I like to do stuff like this, and I asked her, could you do a centerpiece? Because not a lot of people see how to do centerpieces or know how to properly do a centerpiece, and I honestly,
And you
when I
actually
first,
need one.
if she wouldn't have said to put the foam in here, you know what I would have done? I'd have just stuck it all in, zip tied it, and made it like that. But I'll be able to put my deer that I'm going to have as my focal point in here and hoist it down.
Now, will yours hang or be a table piece? Table piece?
Yeah, I'm going to have a
Thank
table.
you. Okay.
Oh, I know you know for years.
Jackson, where the deer was. How often do you come in? Oh, Lord, once a year if I can. I can just walk over here anytime I get
Y'all know to be careful with these picks. They are extremely sharp.
This summer I stayed up in here. I ain't been here lately because I've been working. So I stayed up here this summer every day.
That's what I'm saying, because when
Yeah,
you want
perfect.
to and then somebody else bought you one.
That's what I'm doing.
That one's plenty. That's plenty. Oh. So they have these little picks that you can use to cover your mechanics. And so I'm gonna just cut a few of these pieces off and put over the foam where it happens to be showing. And you can use your greening pins to do that. You don't even have to glue it. Okay, so once I get the bell on there, I'm going to put that in there.
Oh, that. Oh, now that's bad there.
Can you stick a little glue? I'm gonna show you how to do it. Hold it.
I can, oh, I can have this yet. I try it on.
Don't let me glue your finger.
Y'all gonna hear me scream.
Now, I'm finna say, we'll know if you glue your finger, you can hide it. Okay.
You need help me? You have to go into the inside. I'm gonna have to give me some of these deer. A deer and a deer for me. My person. No, for him first. I didn't know if I would like you.
No, that's right.
And I know once I put a picture of what I've done, I'm gonna have 50 million orders for it, or people are gonna ask me, and I'm gonna be like, dang it, I should have got it at General Wholesale when I was there. Because I do that all the time when I come here. After I leave, Sandy's like, why you just didn't get it when you were here?
Because I've seen a lot of stuff with deer in it this year.
So I'm just pushing these picks down into the foam, and I'm having to go inside the bell and just kind of make it happen.
actually gonna help me attach.
Again, if you were just doing this for yourself, just pop this sucker on top of there. I'm serious. Not even hot glue, just throw it on there. And you don't have to worry about it. But there's no way to zip tie. What is it on?
Zip ties are my best friend.
Yes.
Okay, that's on there, good. Okay, what are we doing here?
I was gonna do like this.
Put him and then
I
another
was
one.
gonna put it like this.
Alright, get my ice pick, not ice pick, not at all. Look at him. Okay, so to attach something like this is plastic. I'm gonna stick a hole in his hoof.
Don't break my deer.
Alright, Jayce, we have some options. I don't know if you want the poinsettia, is that? I don't know if that might.
That might.
With that gilded.
Yeah, that might work.
I didn't know if that was too much or if that went raspberry. Sometimes it'll go raspberry.
Okay, I poked a hole in his hoof there, and I'm gonna do the opposite one, like there and there.
I'm a little worried about these today.
Look.
Okay, alright. Well, we got
Yeah. I may put a little ribbon loops.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a little bright, but I mean, it'll
That pig's right here, Terri.
Okay, remember these? We're gonna put a big glob of glue. And I'm gonna stick it in his hoof. Give it up there all the way, see?
Yep.
Let that dry.
Okay.
Like even with plushes, don't be afraid to poke a hole in the back of it because nobody sees the back of it. Poke a hole and put wire through them. Or take all their little, if they have beads in it, take all their beads out so it's not heavy. You can still attach it to your wreaths.
Put it in your hand.
Okay, so once that dries, and give it a good push so you got a lot of it up in that leg. It gives it more stability. And then we're gonna glue that. Glue on those sticks. And then stick them through the.
Thank you.
Got some good paper and shade on it.
This one's gonna have to just hang on like that.
Huh?
I don't even know the price. I just grabbed. I think there were 15 retail, so whatever happened.
So same thing on this one, we're just gonna find a couple of places to put it. It's helpful to decide where it's gonna sit on your foam so you don't miss it. So right there at the back of his behind, it needs to go, and right at this edge. So it needs to go here and here. But don't be afraid to add elements like this. You're gonna figure out a way to get them on.
Auxiliary, auxiliary.
If you can't figure out a way, ask me.
I message her all the time asking for input.
Or to describe his products.
Yeah, because I'm one, I can't write descriptions of my product, and then when I put them on Etsy, I want it to sell, so I asked her to write it, and she writes it for me.
puts, a Christmas wreath with a poinsettia. And I say, celebrate the holiday season with this beautiful poinsettia wreath
She's been doing it longer than I
and
have.
enjoy it all through the holidays and blah, 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 blah.
By the time they get to reading, they want it.
They're like, here's my credit card.
That's the hardest part.
It's descriptions.
Descriptions are hard.
Like in person, you can sell it, but descriptions, I can sell anything and everything in person. I will
You
hustle
want
it and
to
try to
just
get it out.
say-
But online, I don't know how to push it to sell it. As a description, it's like,
You want to say, I have it, you want it, now buy it.
because this is my thing over there.
I made it so it would sit like this.
Okay.
I wouldn't leave it Okay, so these picks are really great to hide mechanics. I'm just going to cut some of these and stick them around that foam. So I'm going to add some ribbon, but
Green pins. I put them in the center.
we keep covering up our stuff.
I'm trying to get his back leg to stay down. You don't want to listen. So that's how it looks in there.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Isn't that beautiful?
Hold it down a little. That's pretty.
No one wants any of this in Terri?
Yeah, I'm just cutting off the pieces.
Green pinning it.
I'm just green pinning out.
And some of that green moss would look pretty under the deer.
It would.
Like them were laying.
Okay, that's fine. We're gonna look at the store.
Totally would.
All right, bye.
Take my pick. Give me one of those green. Have another one of
Country
those?
time. Country, what you say? Country cottage. Country cottage.
Is anybody decorating for fall?
And Wreath on the
I would
front door,
like
that's about
to.
it.
I'm hoping to do mine tomorrow.
We can do it. I thought you were supposed to do it this weekend. I thought you were supposed to do it yesterday.
Oh, I came up here yesterday. And I dealt with Comcast all morning. So this was a simple fix to just put these greening pins on these little pieces of greenery pine. So I'm just cutting them off and just pinning them to the foam so they don't show the foam. Hide those mechanics, whatever you do. That's what sets you apart
Take my eyeball out.
as a professional. Sorry.
She's not sorry.
I am sorry. If you had a snowy arrangement, and say for instance you had really snowy pine picks, you could use that boa. You get it at Walmart, at Hobby Lobby. Comes in a long piece. You know, people put them around them.
I think I'm gonna want to start doing this more often. These.
A feather boa, or even just that little small fuzzy. And to hide your mechanics. That one. If it's a snowy feature.
You'll give it to her.
Now, if you can't find any more of those, just get you a couple of teardrops and smear them together.
Nicole.
You can get those small teardrops and just connect them in the middle, and it'll work just the same. Okay, so I've completely hidden my mechanics with those few pieces of branch. Now all I'm going to do for the rest of mine is just put in some ribbon. And I picked this pretty
Cardinal,
bird.
red bird, cardinal.
See, I covered my mechanics too. Should I do these?
Terri, what are those floors called?
What is what called?
The base.
It's they're called, it's just called a centerpiece.
You have a long one.
Is that corners?
Terri, you going along here?
No, ask me after I get through with this. I might be too.
So I'm gonna show y'all. All I'm gonna do, because I wanted to make it long enough to where it sits out probably about right here. But I wanted to get it to my styrofoam. I'm gonna add a piece of my stem that I saved. Then all I'm gonna do is floral tape it all the way, and it gives me my length I need. Do I open these?
Okay, I cut 2 strips. You know, this kind of ribbon, if you put the birds up, it's tricky because the birds are upside down. They're like dying and flying upside down. And I'm going to use the green PVC on the wreath to actually tie around the ribbon. So anytime you can utilize, like I did on that one, a piece of what you already have, no need to wire anything. So if you can pull up a piece of that greenery, it doesn't have a job to do anyway. It's just sitting there. So utilize it.
I went all the way up and then to where my part is. I'll use my tricks. I learned from Killer yesterday.
You just learned how to do that.
Me, I would have never just put it in. I would have just stayed out and I was like, nope, I'm not using it.
Now you could